Batting eighth and playing second base, number 10, Nico Saladino. Batting ninth and playing center, number 27, Danny Gutcher. On the mound for the Spartans, number 20, Eli Thurman.
So wait till she
The
starts.
Spartans are coached by Joe Urso. He is assisted by Sam Militello, Jose Jimenez, Andrew Armano, Scott McNulty, and Mark Johnson.
And now you can clear it.
And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Florida Tech Panthers.
And then now we'll quick overlay.
Leading off and playing shortstop from Lithia, Florida, sophomore number 15, Gabe Garrett.
I'm not going to ads. I can just click here. Like, I don't have to get rid of this.
Yeah, you can just go right there. Yep.
Oh, I got the umpires.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I have their names?
Sure.
Okay, who's the home plate?
Kevin Flay, F-L-A-Y.
Graduate student number 2, Alec Eldridge.
Then Chris Pittman on the bases. I assume it's Pittman.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
A junior number 5, Josh Ford. All right, Josh! Batting fifth and playing left field from Winter Garden, Florida. A junior number 36, Bright Kelly. All right, Brett! Batting sixth and playing right field from Ontario, Canada. A freshman number 34, Cole Patrick. All right. Batting seventh and playing center field from Boca Raton, Florida. A junior number 22, Sam Schnare. Woo, Sammy! Batting eighth and playing center field from Naples, Florida. A junior, Tate Hansen. Batting ninth and playing third base from Sugarloaf, Pennsylvania. A junior number 55, Gavin McGowan. Starting on the mound this evening for your Panthers is a 6'2" right-handed junior from Windermere, Florida, number 6, Mitch Harding. All right, Mitch!
So now you can clear it.
In his second season is Jeff Tam. He is assisted by TJ Warren, Alex Carpenter, Walt Quintero, and
Virtual
Jordan
tie.
Murray.
Virtual tie with Rollins.
Black.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join us in honoring America with the playing of the national anthem.
Yep. All right.
Can you just make sure the pitcher's like center?
Florida Tech Panther baseball is on the air tonight from Andy Semenick Leswell Field on the campus of Florida Tech. It's a big Sunshine State Conference series as the Florida Tech Panthers welcome their neighbors to the west, the Tampa Spartans. And a pleasant good evening, everyone. J.C. Miles with you on the Panther website, FloridaTechSports.com, along the SSC Digital Network. Tampa is having their usual outstanding season. They're 24-7 overall. They started the year 12-2, and they have coasted to that 24-7 mark. They're now in the conference, 13-2, and a virtual tie for Rollins for first place in the conference. They do, however, actually do come off a loss in 11 innings up in Valdosta State in a game that took 4 hours and 18 minutes, and a game in which Tampa actually jumped out to a 5-0 lead at the top of the first. Valdosta State was able to claw back and eventually win the game 12-11 over the Spartans in 11 innings. That was this past Tuesday night. But the Spartans still very impressive, 24-7 overall. As far as Florida Tech, they've been on a bit of a roll lately. They've won 4 of their last 6. Last weekend, they did take 2 of 3 in St. Petersburg against Eckert. They lost the first game of the series 11-3, but they bounced back nicely in sweeping the Tritons in a doubleheader 8-7 and 13-8. Mitch Harding is throwing in his warm-up pitches. So let's give the Tampa lineup under the direction of Joe Urso. For Joe, this is his 23rd year at the helm, and again, he has lived a charmed baseball life. I always like documenting, his baseball journey has just been immaculate everywhere he has been, whether it's minor leagues, college, coaching, whatever. Everything he does turns to gold, and we'll document that as I usually do every year or every other year when Tampa comes here. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So again, Mitch Harding, the senior out of Windermere, throwing in his warm-up pitches, and this is the lineup he's going to face, and it's a typical Tampa power pack lineup. Leading things off will be the center fielder Jordan Lala. Batting second is the first baseman Drew Earhart. Hitting third is Joe Urso's son. He's awfully proud of him. I talked to Joe about him a little bit. Second year, J.D. Urso, playing shortstop and batting third. Usually he's a DH, but playing shortstop tonight. Batting at the fourth spot, the right fielder, E.J. Cumbo. Batting fifth, playing third base, is Anthony Nunez. Hitting at the sixth spot is the left fielder, Jamarcus Lyons. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Santiago Gravito, a guy that also plays first base, but he's in the DH spot tonight. Hitting eighth will be the second baseman, Nico Saladino. So Saladino getting a rare start at second. He usually plays short, but Urso is in the lineup at short. And then Danny Gutcher batting ninth. He is the catcher. Eli Thurman, one of the Tampa top pitchers, will be opposing Harding on the mound. And just prior, getting started a little bit early tonight, about 5:59 Eastern Time. The first pitch is a fastball high, and we are underway 1 minute before 6 o'clock. So again, taking a look at Tampa, Jordan Lala leading off, and he is the team's leading hitter. He's batting .412 with a home run and 25 runs batted in. He fouls this off to the left side over on Panther Field, which will be very busy tomorrow morning. Panther men's lacrosse will be in action at 11 o'clock. So Lala leads the team in batting at .412, leads in runs scored with 40, also leads in walks with 28, in on-base percentage, .547. The pitch is outside for a ball. That'll run the count to 2-1. And if that isn't enough for Lala, he's also the team's leading base stealer. The team overall is 55 out of 71. He is 23 out of 28. And he's pretty much the guy who steals bases. A little bit of a drop-off after that. Swung on and missed. And the count is 2-2 on Jordan Lala. Again, he'll be followed in the order by Drew Earhart, the first baseman, and J.D. Urso, again, the son of Joe Urso, just in his second year. So this is J.D.'s first trip to Florida Tech. Again, he played as a freshman last year, and, of course, last year's series was in Tampa. The 2-2 pitch is inside for a ball. Some few moans and groans from the Panther dugout. It was close, and the count goes full 3-2 on Jordan Lala. Tampa batting very well as a team, a .328 team batting average, and their team ERA is pretty good as well. Might be better than some Major League teams, 3.34. And the pitch is just a bit outside, ball 4, and Lala reaches a walk, and that's how this one starts. So, again, you got to keep an eye on Lala, 23 of 28 in steals. I noticed Tampa running a lot more this year than last year. Last year, the entire year, they were 52 out of 62. And already they have 9 more stolen base attempts than the entire season last year. Boy, Lala has a huge lead. Eldridge holding him on. Breaking ball by Harding, outside for a ball. Ball 1. Again, this is Drew Earhart, who normally plays second base but is playing first base tonight. Earhart batting .318. That is good for only 6th on the team. 2 home runs and 20 runs batted in. Pickoff attempt, and the runner gets back. We'll set up the Panthers defensively after this pitch. Usual cast of guys with maybe a couple of minor changes. Harding trying to peek over. Of course, when you're a right-handed batter, or right-handed pitcher, it's a little tougher to peek over to first. The runner goes. That ball's fouled off, so a good break for Florida Tech. Tampa had the hit and run going on, but hitting it foul was Earhart, so back to first is Lala. As far as Florida Tech defensively, same usual characters. Alec Eldridge playing at first base, Jason Blackstone, the second baseman, Gabe Garrett at shortstop. Third base has been a bit of a rotation. Had 3 different players there at least. Gavin McGowan is playing third base tonight. Pickoff attempt, and the runner gets back. I mean, we've had Cole Kimball play third base this year, Austin Sewell, and Gavin McGowan in the starting lineup tonight. We'll set the outfield in a moment. Sam Schneider in center is playing the batter, Earhart, to pull toward left center. Another pickoff attempt, and the runner gets back. Got Brett Kelly in left field, Sam Schneider in center, Cole Patrick playing right. Right field's been another kind of a rotating spot. Sometimes it's Brett Parrish, sometimes it's Austin Sewell. So Patrick playing right. Tate Hansen is catching. And again, we got Mitch Harding on the mound. This will be a 1-1 to Earhart. Runner goes again. Pitch outside for a strike. Throw down to second is, safe at second. Beautiful throw by Hansen. Kind of lost track of the middle there with kind of people kind of blocking my view, but evidently beating it was Lala. So for Jordan Lala, his 24th stolen base in 29 attempts, and Tampa with an early scoring opportunity. Runner on second with nobody out. Panther middle of the infield, back deep at normal depth. Eldridge playing wide of the bag at first, and McGowan playing wide of the bag at third. So it'll be a 1-ball, 2-strike pitch by Harding to Earhart. The pitch is fisted out in the right center field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Patrick is charging. He overends the ball. It probably wouldn't have mattered. An early run as Lala scores easily from second base. I mean, that ball is hitting the right center field gap, and it would have been an incredible effort by Patrick to even throw the ball to home plate. So it's an RBI single by Drew Earhart, and Tampa strikes first. They lead it 1-0. That'll bring up J.D. Urso. J.D. is batting .380, 3 home runs and 41 runs batted in. Leads the team in the RBIs with 41, in doubles with 17, and total bases with 77. Just a chip off the old block from his dad. Pitch on the way is inside for a ball. It's ball 1, and I had asked Joe Urso, how is J.D. as a player, maybe compared to you? And he says, I think he's better, and he's taller. Joe is not the tallest guy in the world. He's got a good heart, though, good man. But J.D.'s a little taller than his dad. That ball sliced foul. That'll be over toward Rich Stoller Soccer Field. So tomorrow we got women's lacrosse playing pretty bright and early, 10 a.m. They're playing St. Leo. I'll be over there, and then I'll be back over here. Again, we got men's lacrosse at 11, and then we got a baseball doubleheader between these two teams at 2 o'clock. Interesting starting time, but try and spread things out a little bit. It'll be a 1-1 by Harding to Urso. Nice changeup by Harding in for a called strike. And Harding, typical, fastball slider, changeup pitcher. Again, he is out of Windermere. Went to Olympia High School in Windermere. Entrepreneurship is his major. The 1-2 is hit in the left side. Base hit. That'll find the hole between McGowan and Garrett in the left. Ball fielded by Kelly, played back in. So advancing to second is Earhart. So Harding still trying to get his first out here. Again, this Tampa lineup does not really give you a break. So far, 3 consecutive singles by Lala, Earhart, and Urso. We got Earhart on second, Urso on first. Again, Tampa up 1-0. And doesn't get any easier with this guy, E.J. Cumbo, who in the series last year over in Tampa, which Tampa swept and did so very convincingly, Cumbo had 3 home runs in the series. So this guy is dangerous, home run hitter, and he's batting fourth, which you would expect. Got an interesting stance, left side open stance, and the pitch is in for a called strike. I'm trying to remember who to compare him to. He holds the bat very high behind his head. I'll think of somebody. I mean, there's a major league player that had that kind of stance way back when. Pitch on the way, a swung on a miss. I do remember Bobby Tolan, who played with the Reds in the early 70s. That was like 50 years ago. He used to hold the bat very, very high in the air, but it was kind of not draped over the shoulder. If you're watching on TV here, that Cumbo is. Very, very unusual stance, but you know what? It works for him because he's batting .402. You can't argue with the guy. 2-strike pitch coming up. Just missed, and it's 1-2 on E.J. Cumbo. So Cumbo batting .402. That's 10 points behind Lala, who leads the team in batting at .412. Cumbo leads the team in hits with 51 and slugging at .598. So Harding ahead on the count. He could really use a strikeout here. The 1-2 is a high chopper to short. Garrett charges. Garrett throws in time, but that'll move the runners up, so just as good as a sacrifice. So Earhart to third and Urso up to second. So a productive 6-3 by Cumbo. Even when Cumbo doesn't get a hit, he helps his team. So runners on second and third with one out, and that'll bring up Anthony Nunez, the third baseman. So Eldridge is going to play even with the bag at first, off of first, wide, and wide of third is McGowan. So Eldridge is giving Nunez a bit of the right field line. And the middle of the infield back at normal depth, so they're willing to concede a run to get an out. So second, third, one out, and, again, you don't want to fall too far behind this Tampa team because they can hit and they can pitch too. Pitch is high for a ball. It's ball one. I imagine during Joe Urso's tenure that his team has not blown a 5-0 lead too many times in games. And again, the Valdosta State game the other night, the team scored 5 in the top of the first, but ended up losing it in 11 innings, 12-11. Pitches in for a called strike. That must have been a very fun 4-hour and 18-minute game if you love baseball. I mean, you loved every minute of that one, I guess, up in Valdosta, Georgia. All right, 1 ball and 1 strike. I'll tell you, the pitch count for Harding getting a little bit high here in the first inning. He has only 1 out, runners second and third. The pitch by Harding is in for a called strike. Our home plate umpire is Kevin Flay. We've got Chris Pittman on the bases. Well, still plenty of sunshine out here at 6:08 Eastern Time. Of course, the days are getting a bit longer. The sun is probably not going to set for at least another hour. The lights are on, but certainly have not taken full effect yet. It'll be another 1-2 pitch by Harding. And swung on, missed, ball dropped, and throw to first is in time. I think Hanson was a little bit confused. Did he have to throw it on first, or was the batter automatically out? But first base was not occupied, so he did have to complete the strikeout, which he did. And that's the first strikeout for Harding, and also a 2-3 to add. So Harding, if he can get out of this with just 1 run unscathed, that would be a good idea, but he has to get by Jamarcus Lyons, the left fielder. Lyons is hitting .340. 1 homer, 14 runs batted in. So second and third, 2 outs. The pitch is a breaking ball, and it just missed. Ball 1 on Jamarcus Lyons. That 340 batting average brings back memories as a 8-year-old Met fan in 1969. That is what Cleon Jones batted. In fact, that was his best year in the major leagues. He was a young man back then, 340. And that's what Lyons is batting. Pitches in for a called strike. In fact, that year, Cleon Jones finished second in the batting race to a fellow by the name of Pete Rose. If you're going to finish second in something, Pete Rose is not a bad guy to finish second to. So Harding peering in, 1 ball and 1 strike. He's been ahead on the count the last 3 batters. The pitch is a ground ball wide of third. Oh, it goes under McGowan. So we'll have to check the scoring on that, but 2 runs are going to score, and Tampa with a 3-0 lead. So Lyons reaches first. We'll check on the scoring of that in a minute, but Tampa up 3-0. So Earhart and Urso score. And that'll bring up Santiago Gravito. Boy, sounds like a famous artist from maybe the 1600s in Spain. Santiago Gravito. I love his name. Maybe not as famous as Salvador Dali or some of the other great artists from 500 years ago. So that'll be an error all the way, unfortunately, on McGowan. So that'll be an E5. Ball's fouled off by Gravito. Jeez. Garavito. And it's a strike 1 count. So 7th batter to bat here in the top of the first. So no RBI in the play. It is 1 RBI? Okay. So again, a 3-0 Tampa lead. Not the spot you want to be in against this Tampa team. Pitch outside for a ball. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Santiago Garavito, who's batting .294. So they have 6 batters batting over .300. Then you got Garavito at .294 and Nunez at .292, not very far away. Pitch in for a ball. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike on Garavito. So Harding in for the signs. Lions leading off for first, being held on by Eldridge. And the pitch is a high pop-up foul over toward the right side. And that'll even the count up 2-2 on Garavito. Nico Saldino is on deck. Again, Jamarcus Lyons reaching on the error. He is on first base. Lyons does not have a steal attempt yet this year. Pitch in for a ball. Again, it really drops off after Lala, who's now 24 out of 29. Got Jose Cadenas, who comes off the bench. He's actually 10 for 10. And then nobody else really steals that of a lot for this Tampa team. Of course, they have a lot of power, a lot of good line drive hitters. Maybe you don't have to steal as much as you want, but certainly Lala runs a lot. And running on that play was the base runner, Lyons, and it's ball 4, so he takes second base. So that's a second walk in this first inning allowed by Mitch Harding. He's got 1 strikeout, so he's got that strikeout to walk ratio in the wrong direction. Here's Nico Saladino, the second baseman. Nico usually plays shortstop, but he's playing second base tonight. Earhart, who usually plays second base, is playing first. So a few subtle changes to the Tampa lineup defensively, but as far as their lineup, pretty much the same lineup all year. Pitch is inside for a ball. It's ball 1 on Nico Saladino. And Saladino batting .246. He has a home run and 4 runs batted in. Tampa has 28 home runs as a team. Now, Florida Tech beats them in one category. Tampa only has 5 triples. Florida Tech has 6. Otherwise, Tampa, they're just they're really impressive. The pitch misses for a ball. Again, virtual tie with Rollins at 14-3. I'll go over some scores, including some of the ones today. We got a bunch of doubleheaders going on today in conference play. These two teams wait till tomorrow to play 2. So I got some early scores. But there's a lot of other action going on as we speak. Pitch in for a called strike. Nice pitch by Harding, and it's a 2-1 count on Saladino. Danny Gutcher is on deck. So this is the 8th batter to bat in the inning. Got Lyons on second and Garavito on first. Again, 3 runs in, 3-0 Tampa. Harding looking to get that third out. Middle of the infield back at normal depth. The pitch just missed, and it's 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Some of the umpires in the crowd not happy with that call. So 3-1 the count. Eldridge is playing off the runner at first, that being Garavito. So Garavito taking advantage. He's taking a huge lead. The pitch is in for a called strike, and Saladino's about to throw the bat away, but didn't say mother may I. So it's 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. So with that in mind, the runners will get the automatic start. Lyons at second and Garavito at first. So if Saladino can get a ball that he can drive, Tampa might have some more runs. So the runners go. The 3-2 pitch is a chopper wide at first. Bad hop. Throw to first is safe at first. Ball dropped. Runners hold at second and third. Oh, you got to feel for Alec Eldridge. I mean, that should have taken a normal hop, but it took a hop to my left and his right. And that made all the difference in the world as Saladino made it. So that'll be an infield hit. Boy, you feel bad for Eldridge. I mean, that was an easy play, but the ball exited stage left a little bit. So that is a bit of a bad hop hit in favor of Saladino, and the bases are loaded. So we got Lyons on third, Garavito on second, Saladino on first, and Tampa's officially batted around here in the top of the first. Here's the number 9 hitter, the catcher, Danny Gutcher. So runners lead first, second, and third with 2 outs. The pitch is a breaking ball in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Panther outfield pretty much playing Gutcher straight away. Gutcher batting .284. Actually, the co-leader in home runs with E.J. Dosco, who's not even in the lineup. He has 6 homers, 27 runs batted in. There's a shot to second. Nice hop there. Throw to first is in time, and that retires the side as Blackstone took it. About shoulder high to his left, makes the play. The inning is over, but Tampa bats around. In the top of the first inning, they scored 3 runs. They had 3 hits. They also chipped in 2 walks. So Tampa off to a good start. Florida Tech with a ways to go in this game. They'll have to try and battle back to get into this one. But so far, Tampa 3 and Florida Tech is coming up. Again, J.C. Miles with you, FloridaTechSports.com. It's very, very windy out here. I mean, even windier than it usually is inside the Olin Complex. I mean, the flag is swirling around. It can't quite make up its mind what direction it wants to blow. So in honor of Peter, Paul, and Mary, the answer is blowing in the wind, but we don't know what the answer is right now. So we go to the bottom of the first inning. And the opposition for Mitch Harding on the mound for Tampa is Eli Thurman. We'll talk more about him in a moment, but this is the lineup that Eli Thurman is going to face. Of course, the Panthers' head coach is Jeff Tam. He is in his second season. Panthers come in at 20-12. They're 9-6 in the Sunshine State Conference. They currently reside in 4th, so they are in the mix. But they're going to have to win some more games if they want to move up a little bit in the standings. I mean, there's a little bit of a logjam with Tampa, Rollins, and Florida Southern. So leading off for the Panthers will be the shortstop, Gabe Garrett. Garrett's kind of floated around the lineup all year. He has mostly batted leadoff, but sometimes he'll bat ninth. Batting second will be the second baseman, Jason Blackstone. Hitting third at first base, Alec Eldridge. Batting at the 4th spot, and what a year he's having, the designated hitter, Josh Ford. Batting 5th in left field is Brett Kelly. Hitting 6th in right field is Cole Patrick. Batting at the 7th spot is the center fielder, Sam Schneer. Hitting 8th, the catcher, is Tate Hansen. And batting 9th and playing third base is Gavin McGowan. Let's talk about Eli Thurman while we have a chance. Thurman having a good year. He's 4-1 with a 3.18 earned run average. He shares the wins total on the pitching staff with Braden Nelson, who's actually a reliever, who's actually 4-0. And he's one of the co-closers for Tampa, so we might see him a little bit later on. But Eli Thurman, again, 4-1, 3.18 earned run average. This is his 10th start of the year, so no bullpen for him. He is one of the primary starters for the Spartans. He's allowed 43 hits in 45 and 1/3 innings. He's given up 20 runs, 16 of the 20 earned. He has walked 11, struck out 33, so a perfect 3-to-1 strikeout-to-walk ratio. He has allowed 5 home runs, which is second highest in the team, and opponents are batting .244 against him. So, again, Eli Thurman pitching tonight for Tampa, the right-hander. And leading off for the Panthers, Gabe Garrett to pitch in for a ball. It's ball 1 on Gabe. Gabe trying to snap out of a bit of a slump. He's 1 for his last 15. The pitch on the way is low for a ball. It'll be a 2-ball, no-strike count on Gabe Garrett. Garrett overall, 259, 14 runs batted in, leads the team in runs scored with 26. And the pitch by Thurman is in for a called strike. I talked to Sam Miltel, the pitching coach for Tampa. He also played at Tampa. Oh, that was more than 30 years ago. He was a teammate of Joe Urso for at least 1 year. There's a ground ball, and that goes under the glove of the third baseman. That is Nunez down to left field for a we'll see how they score that. So Garrett reaches first. That'll bring up Jason Blackstone. So that'll be a hit. We'll set the Tampa infield in a moment. So Thurman with a glance over to Garrett. Again, keep in mind he has a 3-0 lead. Garrett, pretty good lead. The pitch is in for a called strike, and it's 0-1 on Blackstone. Let's set the Tampa infield. We got Drew Earhart playing at first base. Again, he usually plays second. Nico Saladino's playing second. He usually plays short. J.D. Urso, usually the DH. He's playing short. And Anthony Nunez is at third. We'll set the outfield in a moment. Swung on and missed by Blackstone. Nasty pitch there by Thurman. In left field, we got Jamarcus Lyons. In center field, Jordan Lala. And in right field is E.J. Cumbo. Danny Gutcher is catching. And again, Eli Thurman is pitching. And there's a wild pitch, I believe, in the dirt. Goes over to the right. And moving up to second will be Gabe Garrett. You can't get 3 runs away. You can't get 3 runs very quickly in one setting. But, again, Florida Tech, they have to chip away here. But really, in the long range, they have to prevent Tampa from scoring too many more runs, or it's going to be a long evening. It's going to be a long, windy evening. The pitch is lined down to center field, base hit. Garrett is only going to be able to make it a third. He's going to be stopped by Raul Quintero, the third base coach, and that's wise. There's nobody out. You're down by 3. You don't want to chance it. So nice piece of hitting by Blackstone as he lines it into center field for a base hit. That'll bring up the first baseman, Alec Eldridge. Alex snapped out of a 4 for 23 slide recently by going 4 for 6 in the 13-8 win by Florida Tech over Eckerd. That was the second game of the doubleheader, and that was last Saturday. And that was a game that took 3 hours and 25 minutes. The first game took 3 hours and 50 minutes, but that was a big, long day of doubleheader baseball over in St. Pete. Pitch to Eldridge is hit to the mound. Baltimore chop, and nobody's covering first. Well, not sure what the first baseman Earhart was thinking about. I mean, he went wide of first. He had plenty of time to get over there. That won't be an error, but that'll be a mental error on Earhart, the first baseman. So got to give Alec Eldridge a base hit on the Baltimore chop, and the Panthers, like Tampa in the top of the first, they have the bases loaded and there's nobody out. So 3 consecutive hits by Garrett, Blackstone, and Eldridge. And here's Josh Ford, who is the Panthers' hottest hitter of late. The pitch is outside for a ball 1. So the tying run is on at first. The go-ahead run is at the plate. And what a year Josh Ford is having. He has a 7-game hitting streak going. He has reached base in 21 consecutive games, and he is batting .403. The pitch is a check swing foul down the right field line. That'll even the count up 1-1 on Josh Ford. Ford leads the team in slugging, .507, and on base, .533, and he probably doesn't want me to mention this. He has been hit the most, 7 times. If it's in the right area, he may not be mind getting hit here. Well, that one was close, but actually a strike. Wow. The Panther dugout, I believe that's Jeff Tam leading the way, saying, no way. Oh, the Panther dugout, they're riding the home plate umpire, Kevin Flay, early. We're only in the bottom of the first. The pitch is high. Good stoppage by Ford as he thought about swinging. And the count is 2-2. Jeff Tam probably thinks the count should be 3-1. And, of course, that's a big difference. But it's 2-2. So bases loaded, nobody out, bottom of the first. Tampa scored 3 in the top of the first. What can Florida Tech do to respond? The pitch is swung on and missed. So Ford strikes out. And that's only the 12th time this year that Ford has struck out. So big strikeout there by Eli Thurman. Florida Tech still in pretty good shape here. Bases loaded, 1 out. Now the middle of the infield can play at normal depth and look for a ground ball and try and get a double play. Here's Brett Kelly, the Panther left fielder. And the pitch is in for a called strike. Kelly, maybe more than anybody, has batted all around the lineup this year. Opening night up in Rollins, which was back in early February, he actually led off. And then he was dropped to the number 9 spot. And tonight he's batting 5th. You just never know. This one is lined into center field, base hit. 1 run is in, and 2 runs are going to score as the throw goes to third. A 2-run single by Brett Kelly, and the Panthers are right back in it. It is 3-2 Tampa. So Kelly, a solid line drive single, 2 RBIs, to center field, scoring Garrett and Blackstone, moving Eldridge 90 feet up to second. So far in this inning, single, strikeout, single. Here is Cole Patrick. So again, 3-2, tying run on second, go-ahead run on at first. Thurman a check of the runner at second. And the pitch is outside and low for a ball. So Cole Patrick up at the plate. Patrick 4 for his last 12. He actually had 2 home runs in the series last weekend against Eckerd. The pitch is swung on and missed. Big old swing by Patrick. That'll make the count 2 strikes. Patrick had a solo homer in the Friday night game last Friday. That was the 11-3 loss by Florida Tech. And he had a 2-run homer in the 13-8 win, the second game of the doubleheader against Eckerd last Saturday. The pitch is swung on and missed. And now it's 2 strikes. Again, Patrick, a simple stance, feet parallel to the plate. Thurman checking the runner at second. And the pitch is hit deep to left field. See you later. Cole Patrick has hit another home run. 2 home runs last weekend in 2 separate games against Eckert. And he launches this one to left field to the right of the light standard. And the Panthers have exploded for 5 runs, and they have gone down from 3-0 to 5-3 up. And the Panther crowd on their feet. So it's 5-3, and we're only in the bottom of the first inning. We could be out here for a while, folks. Hopefully not till midnight or so. Got to get up early tomorrow and do a bunch of things. So that is a 3-run homer by Patrick. And the bunt by Schnarr in no man's land. And Schnarr's going to beat it out. And that should be an infield hit, I think. That would have been a tough play for Thurman. And I think Schnarr might have caught Tampa by surprise. They're probably still thinking about, oh, we just gave up a home run, and I don't think they were mentally set for that possible bunt by Schnarr. So Schnarr on at first. There's still only 1 out. Boy, this has been a long first inning. Top half for Tampa, bottom half for Florida Tech. So the Panthers have Tate Hansen up at the plate. Pickoff attempt that Schnarr gets back. So Thurman at the set. Runner leading off at first is Schnarr. And the pitch is cued foul. Boy, that was a line drive. Fortunately, over the heads of everybody in the Panther dugout and over toward Rick Stoller Field. Well, I'll tell you, if that was a little bit lower, that would have been awfully scary. Strike 1 the count on Tate Hansen. Thurman, pickoff attempt, and Schnarr, the runner, gets back. Sam doing pretty well in the base pass. In fact, he leads the team in steals. He's 8 for 12. Florida Tech 33 of 41 this year. And the pitch is in for a called strike outside corner, and it'll be a 2-strike count on the catcher Tate Hansen with Gavin McGowan in the on-deck circle. So the Panthers will attempt, barring a double play, they will bat around in the first inning like Tampa did in the top half. Thurman hoping for a double play ball. The pitch is fouled off. Good battle by Hansen to stay alive, and it's 2 strikes. Hansen batting .214, has 4 RBIs. Pretty much has solidified himself as the number 1 catcher. Occasionally Bork will catch. A fake start by Schnarr. He has to run back to first, no throw. So Schnarr with a fake, and then he went back. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. I don't know, Schnarr might have given himself away. Let's see if he's going to try and run here. Not a favorable count, 1-2. Thurman will throw over. Well, again, it's a good thing that the Major League Baseball rules have not drifted down to Division II baseball because, again, Major League pitchers, they're allowed 2 tosses to first, and on the third one, you better pick them off because otherwise it's a balk. But on the Division II baseball level, that is not the case. Ball's lined down the right field. That'll be a base hit. Schnarr will stop at second, so station to station. So Hansen going nicely to the opposite field, and the Panthers are continuing to hit here in the bottom of the first inning. So Schnarr stops at second. Again, 5 runs are in with 7 hits, and Sam Militello, who was a very good pitcher for Tampa over 30 years ago, is going to go out to the mound and talk to Eli Thurman. And again, Thurman has had a good year. He's 4-1 with a 3.18 ERA, but Florida Tech has been able to get to him here in the bottom of the first. Now, Sam Militello, I didn't realize this. I reread his profile. I read Joe Urso's, and that's about a mile long, but I'll tell you, Sam Militello, again, he was a very good pitcher for Tampa in the early 90s, and he eventually made it to the major leagues. He didn't stay there very long, but you know what he did? He, as a Yankee, beat the Red Sox in Yankee Stadium 6-0, and that was the 1996 season. Blanked them 6-0. That was kind of his shining moment. I mean, he kind of got sent down, came back into the big leagues after that, but I read that in his profile, and I said, Sam, was that about your highlight in the big leagues? And he said, yeah, that was about it. But, I mean, what a memory. I mean, you pitch in Yankee Stadium for the Yankees, and you beat their arch rivals, the Red Sox, 6-0. I mean, that's a great memory to, tell your grandkids. All right, here's Gavin McGowan. The pitch is in for a called strike, 0-1 on Gavin. McGowan batting .219, has a home run and 6 runs batted in. So the Panthers have runners on first and second, 1 out, bottom of the first, 5 runs in. They lead at 5-3. The pitch is outside, and that'll even the count up 1-1 on Gavin McGowan. Again, Schnarr's on second, Hansen is on first. The first baseman, Drew Earhart, is playing off the bag and wide of first and deep. The 1-1 by Thurman. Check of the runner at second. McGowan, open stance from the right side, and I think he went too far. Yes, he did. Tried to check swing, but he went a good ways, and it's a 1-1 count. A few shadows on the field, but the lights have not taken effect. Still plenty of bright sunshine out here. There's a chopper foul to the left and behind home plate, so McGowan now has a 1-ball and 2-strike count. So, again, only 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning, and Florida Tech has already hit around. I mean, Gabe Garrett is on deck. Garrett started this hit parade by singling to start off this inning. He's hoping to get another chance here, and he will, barring a double play. The 1-2 pitch is hit down the left field line. Fair ball. The Panthers will get at least one more run. The left fielder, Lyons, trying to track it down. He's going to be waved in, and he's going to score. Gavin McGowan with a 2 RBI double down the left field line. And Florida Tech has done something they probably have not done in history against the Tampa Spartans. They have scored 7 runs in 1 inning and doing it in the bottom of the first inning. Great hitting by McGowan, pulling it down the left field line. So it's now 7-3 Florida Tech, and Eli Thurman having trouble getting out of this inning. So back to the top of the batting order, and Gabe Garrett. Again, Garrett started this hit parade with a single in the first inning. The pitch is outside and low, ball 1. Well, again, we got a long ways to go, folks. I'll tell you, this game could be like a pinball machine, like it was for Tampa the other night when they lost to Valdosta State 12-11 in 11 innings. The pitch is in for a called strike, and it's 1-1. On deck is Jason Blackstone. Again, for Florida Tech, every game is big. I mean, they're 9-6 in conference. They have to try and win a bunch of conference games. There's a ground ball in the hole, base hit. Runner will be held at third. And actually, it was an infield hit. I thought it went into left field, but J.D. Urso actually picked it up. So that's an infield hit for Garrett, his second hit of the inning. And I'll tell you, that's why you have a third base coach. Raul Quintero put up the stop sign and said, hold it third. The shortstop has the ball. So Raul Quintero, a very good ball player for 3 years for Florida Tech, and passing his knowledge on to Schnarr. So first and third, 1 out. Well, this game is moving fast. Pitch in for a called strike. So Jason Blackstone singled earlier in the inning and scored 1 of these 7 runs. So here comes the pitch. Well, pickoff attempt, and the runner gets back. So we got McGowan on third and Garrett on first. Just 1 out. The pitch is high outside. That'll be in the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, 7-3 Florida Tech, pickoff attempt. That one was a little bit closer, but getting back easily was Garrett. Gabe is a perfect 6 for 6 on steals, so not a guy who steals a lot, but hasn't been caught stealing yet. Again, holding him on is Earhart. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another pickoff. Oh, he was leaning, and he's back. Oh, they might have gotten him, but the base umpire, Chris Pittman, said safe. And again, in fairness to Pittman, 2 umpire mechanics, that is one of the tougher calls that a base umpire has to make when you're just the second umpire out there. I mean, you have to get a real good angle. I mean, he's situated in the right spot, but he has to call that from long distance. The pitch is swung on and missed. It'll be a 1-2 count on Jason Blackstone, who is second on the team at hitting, batting .336. He's got a 7-game hitting streak going, and he's also reached base in 28 consecutive games. 2 home runs, 17 runs batted in. Thurman, another pickoff attempt to first. Well, I'll tell you, if Eli Thurman ever makes the major leagues, he's going to have to be cognizant of that rule that he can't throw over more than twice unless you pick the guy off. Otherwise, it is a balk. But that's not the rule here, so he's trying to keep the runner close at first, that being Garrett. Garrett holds. The pitch is fouled off. So Blackstone fighting off that fastball, and the count remains 1-2. Alec Eldridge is on deck. So this is the 11th batter in the inning for Florida Tech. Again, Tampa sent up 9 batters. At the top of the first scored 3. Florida Tech has sent up at least 11, and they have scored 7 on 9 hits. The 1-2 pitch is fouled off. I'm not sure what the record is for total number of hits in one inning for Florida Tech, but 9 is pretty good. I mean, it's crazy to say this, but they're on a pace for 81 hits. I don't think that's going to happen. It'll slow down. I wonder if they've ever gotten double-digit hits in one inning. We'll find out here in a minute. Pickoff attempt, and the runner gets back. So as the late, great Vince Scully used to say, pull up a chair, we're just getting started. We could be in for a long one tonight. So we're in the bottom of the first inning, and we're about 38 minutes in. And in the bottom of the first. It'll be a 1-2 by Thurman to Blackstone. Outside and low, it's 2-2. Let's see, is that Mitch Harding in the bullpen? You know, the disadvantage for Harding is he has to sit in the dugout, so it looks like he's trying to stay loose in the bullpen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch is fouled off and out of play. I'll tell you, that really is a catch-22 when you have a big inning offensively and then your starting pitcher has to wait about a half hour. So Harding does the right thing. I mean, the walk to the bullpen from the dugout is not very far, so he's just trying to stay loose. 2-2 the count. The pitch is in the dirt. Nice block there by the catcher, Gutcher. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Again, Garrett is 6 for 6 on steals. Let's see if Jeff Tam might put on the hit and run here, or at least send Garrett trying to steal. 3-2, 1 out. Runners first and third. And a pickoff attempt, and the runner gets back. I'll tell you, Thurman, I think, total in this game is thrown over to first base at least 10 times. 3-2. Runner goes. Lined in the right field, base hit. Panthers have another run, and Garrett is going to be standing on third base. The 10th hit of the inning, the 8th run of the inning. Well, I've been out here 18 years. I do not remember an inning like this, and I certainly don't remember an inning like this against the Tampa Spartans, who have won 5 national championships, including one, I want to say it was 4 years ago, and Joe Urso is coming out, and that's probably going to be it for Thurman. So Urso's going to take the ball, and Thurman is done. So certainly for Thurman, the roughest outing he has had this year, and the book is not totally closed on him. He has given up 8 runs on 10 hits, and we still have inherited base runners. So we'll check on the new pitcher. Again, the Panther dugout is alive, but again, we have a long ways to go in this one. So we'll check on the pitcher in a minute. Again, Tampa in their road uniforms, bright red shirts, black numbers, gray pants. Florida Tech in the home whites with the crimson numbers on the back and the high pants, the white pants. Let's see what we got out there. It's number 24. So 24 is Eric Linder, right-handed pitcher, 6'2", 225, a junior, out of St. John's, Florida. That's up near the Jacksonville area. He went to Nice High School, which is a great high school for athletes. In fact, one Tim Tebow went to Nice High way back when. So Linder in good company there. Let's check on Linder's numbers. Now, it's interesting. I've talked to Sam Militello about the different pitches that the Tampa pitchers throw, and none of them really throw a natural curveball, but Linder is one of the ones who does. So everybody else is pretty much fastball, slider, change. And then you got two pitchers who throw a curve, and Linder is one of those. So Linder overall does not have a one-loss record, 3.27 ERA. This is his ninth appearance. He's allowed 10 hits in 11 innings. He's given up 5 runs, 4 of the 5 earned. He has walked 5. He has struck out 10, and opposing batters are batting .250 against him. So a guy that's seen a fair amount of action out of the bullpen, but he's only good really for 1 or 2 innings at the most. Well, I'm telling you, I'm looking at the Tampa statistics. Boy, Joe Urso has used a lot of pitchers out of the bullpen. You got Brodsky and Nelson out of the bullpen. They have 12 appearances. And you got 10, you got 10 for Canny, who's also a starter. You got Dalton Ross, 13 appearances out of the bullpen and no starts. So he has used quite a few relievers this year. I mean, he's got an army of relievers in the bullpen. Well, again, last year, Florida Tech got swept by Tampa over in Tampa. And Tampa outscored Florida Tech in that 3-game series 38-7. Tampa won the 3 games 10-2, 17-2, and 11-3. So Florida Tech is thinking that's going to change tonight, and they hope it changes going into tomorrow. Again, we're going to be out here at 2 o'clock for a SSC doubleheader. So, again, Linder is in, and Eldridge is at the plate for the second time of the inning. Pitch in for a called strike. And it's 0-1 at Eldridge, and Eldridge singled earlier in this inning and scored a run. So, again, we got inherited runners on first and third. So, again, the book not closed on Thurman. There's a chopper foul over toward the Panther side of the dugout, toward the on-deck circle. And the count is at strike 2 on Alec Eldridge. Eldridge batting at .301, has 28 runs batted in. That leads the team. He also leads the team in doubles with 11. Open stance from the left side. So Linder at the set. The strike 2 pitch is a changeup outside. And it's ball 1 and strike 2. So fastball, curveball, changeup, the primary pitches for Linder. And again, he's out of St. John's, Florida, right outside of Jacksonville. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Eldridge, looking for his second hit of the inning. The pitch is a high pop-up left side along the third baseline. Is it going to drop? No, it's going to be caught. Foul territory. Here comes a run, and he is out at the plate. So it was a foul ball catch by Anthony Nunez. What a play by him, catching it over his shoulder, and Quintero decided to send the runner, McGowan, and McGowan was thrown out, so that's going to go 5-2. So Eldridge pops it up down the left field line, so a foul pop-up caught by Nunez, the third baseman, and then he threw 5-2 out at the plate is McGowan, and the side is retired. But a big inning for Florida Tech, 8 runs on 10 hits, and the Panthers lead it. We're only at the end of 1 inning. It's Florida Tech 8 and Tampa 3. So we're going to pause to be back. This is Panther Baseball at FloridaTechSports.com. Hey, can you check did All right, we're back. Top of the second inning. Boy, what a long first inning. as far as time. Again, Florida Tech up 8-3, so we had 3 runs at the top of the first for Tampa, but Florida Tech exploding with 8 runs on 10 hits in the bottom of the first. But, Florida Tech, it's nice to be up on Tampa at any time by 5 runs, but you cannot relax against this Tampa squad, and we'll have to see how Mitch Harding bounces back, because he was actually throwing in the bullpen trying to keep loose while Florida Tech was up for a good half an hour. The pitch on the way is outside for a ball. Ball 1. So Jordan Lala, who led off the first inning with a walk and eventually scored one of the 3 runs leading off here in the second. So top of the batting order, Jordan Lala, Drew Earhart, and J.D. Urso. The pitch is off the outside corner, and it's 2 balls and no strikes on Jordan Lala. Spelled like the way it sounds, L-A-L-A. Again, batting .412, a home run, 25 RBIs, also a team high, 29 walks, including the one in the first inning. The pitch hit for a called strike, and it's 2-1 on Lala. Also leads the team in runs scored with now 41. It was 40, but he scored in the first inning. So one of many good players in this Tampa team. Boy, batting .412. That is robust. The pitch is fouled off left side and out of play. That'll be the count of 2-2 on Jordan Lala. Lala, 5'11", 175 senior. He's a local product out of Tampa, but he's also a transfer from the University of Miami, and he went to George Steinbrenner High School in Tampa. George would be proud of that, smiling down from heaven. The 2-2 pitch is ripped down the right center field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Panther right fielder slips a little bit, but we'll play it back in. Again, in right field, we got Patrick. Fortunately, kept the ball in front of him, threw it back in, so Lala now has a walk and a single and a run scored and a steal to his credit. So hit number 4 for Tampa, and that brings up Drew Earhart, the first baseman, who had a RBI single in the first inning. So Lala walked in the first, stole second, and then Earhart drove him in. The pitch is a breaking ball outside. Nice block there by Hansen. It's a ball 1 count on Drew Earhart. Earhart batting .318, has 2 home runs, 20 RBIs. Harding at the set. And the pitch is outside, and it's 2-0. Harding was the losing pitcher last Friday night against Eckert. He went 5 innings and struggled. He threw 66 pitches. He gave up 7 runs, although only 5 of the 7 were earned on 9 hits. So he's trying to bounce back from the Eckert start last Friday. Pitch in for a strike, 2-1. Walked 2, struck out 2 in the 66 pitches that he threw. Vermillion, Cook, and Tapia would relieve him, but again, that was the one game that Eckert won, 11-3. So it'll be a 2-1 by Harding to Earhart. And in for a called strike. Nice fastball by Mitch. Again, out of Windermere and Olympia High. Second or third year with the team. Of course, he was on the team last year. It'll be a 2-2. Schneider playing the batter straight away in center. There's a little nubber to Harding, and he'll underhand it to first for the out. That was a long underhanded toss. Like you're playing bocce ball in Dobbs Ferry, New York, near Memorial Park, where I grew up. But he got it over there in time. So, moving up to second, Lala. So that's simply a 1-3. Lala to second. That'll bring up J.D. Urso, the Tampa shortstop, who, again, is usually the DH, but playing shortstop in place of Saladino, who's moved over to second base for tonight's game. Urso singled and scored in that 3-run first inning. So Florida Tech with an 8-3 lead. They have out-hit Tampa 10-4, but again, we're only in the second inning, and Tampa with a run-scoring opportunity here to try and chip away. Harding at the set. The pitch is in for a called strike. And I'll tell you, I'm glad that Harding didn't even really check on the runner at second. I mean, you're up by 5. You got to focus on these Tampa hitters. And again, J.D. Urso, kind of a chip off the old block with his dad. Again, he is batting .380 coming in. Right-handed batter, feet parallel to the plate. Pitch in for a ball inside. And it's 1-1. So Urso at .380 has 3 home runs and 42 RBIs with that RBI single in the first. Also leads the team in doubles with 17. Also leads in sacrifice flies with 6. So runner on second, one out here in the top of the second. Pitch by Harding is inside. And again, Mitch in that first inning, despite the fact that he allowed 3 runs, he actually got ahead on some of the hitters, 1-2. And again, Tampa was eventually able to get to him anyway, but now he's falling behind 2-1, and that is not a good idea. So 2-1 the count. Short lead off his second. Swung on and missed. Beautiful slider. Well, that might have been the breaking ball by Harding, and it's 2-2. So again, J.D. Urso, son of Joe, and his first trip to Florida Tech. Again, he's only a sophomore. Did pretty well against Florida Tech last year in the hitting department. Again, Florida Tech outscored by Tampa 38-7 in the 3-game series last year. The 2-2 is outside for a ball, and it's 3-2. Urso had a 3-run homer in one game last year. He had a 3-run homer in another game last year. So he had a pair of 3-run homers. In fact, he went 5 for 10 in the 3-game series last year, and 3 of the hits were home runs. So good power. He doesn't look really tremendously big. Pitch is outside, ball 4. Very close, but Urso able to draw the walk, so he's on first. Remaining at second is Lala. Well, Harding walked 2 in the first. So that's his 3rd walk that he's given up. He has struck out just 1. He got Nunez swinging in the first inning. And here comes the very dangerous E.J. Cumbo, who grounded out to short back in the first inning. And like Urso last year in the 3-game series against Florida Tech, Cumbo had a big series. In fact, he went 6 for 11 and hit 3 home runs against various Panther pitching. The pitch to Cumbo is lined out in the right field. This one's going to fall in. It's going to go in the gap. Cumbo will turn first. He'll stay there. Ball bobbled by Patrick. That's going to allow Cumbo to go to second. And 2 runs are going to score. So we'll see how they score that. I think Cumbo would have stopped at first, but Patrick kind of overran the ball and bobbled it, and that allowed Cumbo to take second base. So here comes Tampa. It's now 8-5. Florida Tech still up by 3, but the Spartans trying to chip away here and doing so successfully. So again, Lala scores and Urso scores. There's only 1 out. Cumbo on second. Here's Anthony Nunez, the third baseman. Again, Anthony struck out swinging against the only strikeout by Harding. Outfield straight away. Middle of the infield is back deep. A little bit of bird dogging by Garrett, trying to keep the runner close at second. Pitch in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Was that a hit and an error? Or was it a double?
Single, and then just he advances.
Right, single, yeah. Okay. And the pitch is a chopper to second. That'll get the runner to third. Blackstone, nice hop, throws to first in time. So to third goes Cumbo as Nunez grounds out. Well, Harding will take that trade off, runner to third, but now he's got the second out of the inning, but he's not out of the woods yet because here's Jamarcus Lyons, the left fielder who reached on an error back in the first inning. Again, Lyons coming in, batting .340 with a home run and 14 runs batted in. Lyons has only struck out 4 times this year in 50 at-bats, so he's not a guy who plays every day, but he plays somewhat. Ground ball wide to third. McGowan will straighten up, throw to first in time, and that retires the side. So, good job by Harding to limit the damage in the second inning, but Tampa able to get a little bit closer as they send 6 batters to the plate, and they score 2 runs on 2 hits. 1 runner left on base. So we have played an inning and a half here at Florida Tech. As we go to the bottom of the second inning, we've got a high-scoring affair. It is Florida Tech 8 and Tampa 5. Coming up for the Panthers the next inning, it'll be 4, 5, and 6. Josh Ford, Brett Kelly, and Cole Patrick. So, again, we're going to be out here tomorrow, a 2 o'clock doubleheader. Alex Caney is going to pitch one of the games for Tampa. The other pitcher is to be determined, as Sam Miltel said. Not sure about who the second game pitcher will be. You know, assuming Florida Tech doesn't have any injuries on their pitching staff, I'm expecting that Dylan Cleveland's probably going to pitch one of the games. Sean Means has been injured for a couple of weeks. Not sure if he's going to be available My guess could be Danny Vasallo could get the start. Again, Danny usually kind of the long guy out of the bullpen, but he started some games last year, and he's kind of the swing guy if Jeff Tam needs another pitcher to start. So we'll see about that tomorrow. Again, the Panthers and the Spartans hooking up in their annual series, which has been dominated by Tampa by a lot, 126-35 overall. Again, Tampa sweeping the 3-game series last year, and they have won 9 of the last 10. The last time Florida Tech won a series against Tampa was here in Melbourne in 2019, so that was 4 years ago. So the Panthers up by 3, 8-5. So, again, a 3-run top of the first for Tampa, an 8-run bottom of the first for Florida Tech, a 2-run top of the second for the Spartans. And the pitch in for a ball. It's ball 1. Leading things off is Josh Ford, the Panther designated hitter. Ford struck out swinging. That was against Thurman. This is the first time he's facing Linder. So, again, the book closed on Thurman. I'll run down the final stuff on him. Pitch in for a strike, 1-1. So it was a good job by Linder to come in and get an out. So Thurman gave up 8 runs on 10 hits. He struck out 1 and didn't walk anybody. Pitch on the way, and a swing by Ford, fouls it off, and it's 1-2. Well, again, Josh Ford is the designated hitter, and I noticed in the transactions in the local Florida Today yesterday, it was 50 years ago yesterday that Ron Blumberg of the Yankees became the first ever DH back in 1973. Pitches low for a ball. So 2-2 the count. So again, the DH has been around for 50 years in the American League and for 2 years in the National League. That's a bit of a disparity. National League adopting the DH last year. Long time in coming. Pitch on the outside corner, and Ford has done something he rarely does. He has struck out twice in a game. Struck out swinging in the first, strikes out looking here in the second inning. So 2 strikeouts for Tampa pitching, and both it's Ford. Well, again, Ford has only struck out 13 times. The pitch is outside for a ball to Brett Kelly, the left fielder. Kelly had a 2 RBI single in that 8-run first inning. Yeah, Ford has struck out 13 times in 68 at-bats, so he probably has not had hardly any 2 strikeout games this year. And again, coming in batting .403. So kind of an aberration for him. All right, 1 ball, no strikes on Brett Kelly, who's been hitting the ball well lately. And trying to bunt, and that almost hit him, and I guess he bunted it foul. I guess it hit off the bat. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Kelly went 1 for 5 in the second game of the doubleheader last week. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on. The pitch, breaking ball, sweeping. Breaking ball by Linder. So evidently Linder does not have a natural slider, but that could have been almost called a slider. Had a lot of movement on it, but missed 2-1. Outfield pretty much straight away here against Kelly. Cole Patrick on deck. The pitch is in for a called strike, and that'll even the count up at 2-2 on Brett Kelly. Brett coming in at .233, a home run, 7 RBIs. Co-leader with Josh Ford in being hit the most 7 times this year. That ball's fisted foul behind us and to the right. And the count 2-2 on Brett Kelly. So it'll be a 2-2 by Linder. Breaking ball's hit to the right side, right of second. Throw to first. Oh, wow. I think he was crossing first. I don't think that was even a tie. Wow, called out. Brett Kelly called out. Nice play by the second baseman, Saladino, but, by the time he fielded that ball, I think Kelly was about 3/4 of the way up. I felt for sure he was going to beat it, but Kelly is called out at first base. Panther crowd in a bit of a shock over that one. Here's Cole Patrick, 2 outs, nobody on. Cole Patrick with a 3-run homer in the bottom of the first. The pitch is in for a ball 1. Again, for the most part, more home runs are hit to right field in this ballpark than left, but Kelly smoked it over the left field wall in between the foul pole and the light standard. The pitch is a changeup. Nice one. Inside corner for a strike. 1-1. Cole Patrick leads the team in home runs. He's got 5, and he now has 14 runs batted in. The 1-1 is a high pop-up. There's our first Dave Kingman special from the 70s. Very high in the air and caught by Urso on the edge of the infield grass at shortstop, and that retires the side. So good job by Linder. Again, Florida Tech sent 12 batters to the plate in the first inning. And what does Linder come and do? He finished up the inning in the first inning for Thurman, and he has retired all 4 batters that he has faced. So 3 up, 3 down in the Panther half of the second. We've played 2. It is 8-5 Florida Tech. So we'll pause and be back. This is Panther Baseball at FloridaTechSports.com. All right, welcome back. Top of the third inning. We have had a boatload of hits and runs. After 2 innings, Florida Tech 8 runs on 10 hits. They've also committed 2 errors. Not something Jeff Tam wants to see. Tampa's not committed an error. They have 5 runs on 5 hits. So Mitch Harding coming out for his 3rd inning of work. Again, Mitch had a tough outing against Eckert last Friday night. Again, he pitched 5 innings. He allowed 7 runs. Only 5 of the 7 were earned, though, on 9 hits. He walked 2, struck out 2. He also threw 3 wild pitches. He threw 66 pitches. Mitch overall, 2-4 record, a 4.5 ERA. This is his 10th start. Coming in, he allowed 47 hits in 46 innings of work, 26 runs, 23 earned. He's walked 12, struck out 35. Again, this is prior to the game. And opponents are batting .254 against him. So Tampa, in the top of the third inning, will send up the bottom of their batting order: Santiago Gravito, Nico Saladino, and Danny Gutcher. There's a fastball by Harding in for a call strike. Garavito walked back in the first inning. So we've got a slugfest going on here at Andy Semenuk, Les Hall Field. The pitch is fouled off right side and out of play. Well, again, Tampa coming in at 24-7, 13-2 in the conference. Again, coming in, Rollins won the first game of their doubleheader today. I noticed that before I came out here. So Tampa and Rollins are in a virtual tie for first, with Tampa being 13-2 and Rollins 14-3, pending their second game today. The pitch misses for a ball, and it's 1-2. So the other teams in the conference are kind of doing things in reverse. They're playing a doubleheader today and a single game tomorrow, except for Florida Southern and Lynn. They're actually playing a traditional 3-game series, but it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Change-up misses 2-2. Again, happy Good Friday, everybody, and happy Easter Sunday in advance. We're not playing baseball on Sunday. Now, the big leaguers do, but nobody in Division II is, at least in the conference. The 2-2 pitch is a high pop-up. Hansen trying to get to it, and he makes the basket catch. In honor of Willie Mays, who's going to be 92 years old in about a month. I believe his birthday's May 7th. So Willie would have loved the basket catch there by Hansen. And that was the way to catch it because the ball wasn't very high in the air, and Hansen really didn't get a lot of time to put his glove straight up in the air, so he just let it fall into the basket. So Garavito's out. That brings up Nico Saladino, who singled back in the first inning. So 1 out, nobody on here in the top of the third. Outfield straight away against the left-handed hitting Saladino. The fastball high and outside, ball 1 on Nico. Saladino out of Valrico. That is, I guess I'd call it a suburb of Tampa. It's right next door. Pitch in for a called strike. I'm not sure if it's actually labeled that way. An adjacent town, that's what I'll say. South Florida College. So he's a transfer. The 1-1 is in for a called strike. Wow. Looked a little bit inside, but it's going to be 1-2. Again, Saladino coming in batting .246, a home run, and 4 RBIs. It'll be a 1-2 by Harding to Saladino. And it's a ground ball into right center field. Base hit past the diving Blackstone. Made a gallant attempt, couldn't get to it. Schnarr throws it back in, so a single to right center field by Nico Saladino. And Nico is 2 for 2, 2 singles. And that'll be hit number 5 for Tampa. That'll bring up the catcher, Danny Gutcher, who grounded out to second back in the first inning. Tampa needs to get one more base runner to bring the potential tying run to the plate. So Florida Tech has outscored Tampa 8-5. They've out-hit him 10-6. So again, Gutcher batting 9th in the batting order. Harding at the set. And the pitch is outside. Nice gathering in there by Hansen, backhanding it. And it's a 1-ball count on Danny Gutcher. Gutcher batting .284, co-leader in home runs with E.J. Dosco, 6. Second in RBIs, 27, tied with Cumbo. The pitch is outside for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. So again, Gutcher, a guy that pretty much is a regular in the lineup. Again, co-leader in home runs with 6. You have to be careful with him. The pitch on the outside corner in for a strike. Well, again, Tampa has hit 28 home runs as a team. Again, that is not Florida Tech's bread and butter. They have hit 14, or actually 15, with Patrick hitting his 5th home run tonight of the season. And the pitch is a high fly ball down the right side. Is Eldridge out of play? I think this is going to drift way out of play. So that drifted way out of play. That was quite a slice over the Panther bullpen and out toward Rick Stotler Field. So 2-2 the count. It's 7:08 local time here in Florida, and the sun is setting, and the lights are starting to take a little bit more of a full effect. So 2-2 the count. So Harding will deliver the 2-2 to Gutcher. Again, leading off for first, Saladino, being held on by Eldridge. The 2-2 is sliced to right. That'll be a base hit. Patrick picks it up, throws it back in. Stopping at second is Saladino. So nice piece of hitting by Gutcher, going the opposite way. And we go back to the top of the batting order, and the center fielder Jordan Lala, who has reached base twice. He has walked, he has singled, he has stolen a base, and he has scored 2 runs. So I'll tell you, Lala, the kind of guy you like leading off, does a little bit of everything. And he represents the tying run at the plate. Has only 1 home run of the year with 25 RBIs coming in. So first and second, 1 out. So again, if you're Florida Tech, you're up 8-5, but you cannot relax against this Tampa team. The pitch is on the inside corner in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. So 0-1 the count. Harding in for the signs. Again, his battery mate is Tate Hansen, who I think has pretty much won the catching job. A check swing. Caught by Garrett. Throw to second in time. Garrett catching that off the shoe tops, and Saladino got a little bit too far off a second. You know, Saladino kind of froze thinking, gee, what's going to happen here? I'm probably going to be out either way. I mean, if Garrett drops the ball, he's going to have me in a pickle. So he kind of froze, and then Garrett caught the ball, and Garrett with the easy toss to second base. So we'll keep it out here as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, but that is a 6-4 in the air double play. And for Florida Tech, that is the 21st double play that they have turned this year. So good luck for Harding getting that soft liner to Garrett, who barely caught the ball, but caught it and threw to second to Blackstone to complete the 6-4. So Tampa threatens, but they don't score. In their half of the 3rd inning, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 man left on base. So we have played 2.5 innings here at Andy Semenick Les Hall Field on the campus of Florida Tech. It is Florida Tech 8 and Tampa 5. Well, again, let's look at the Sunshine State Conference standings. Again, Rollins won their first game of a doubleheader today. Rollins is playing Eckert, and Rollins able to eke out a 7-6 win. So Rollins going into their second game today is 14-3, and Tampa coming into this game is 13-2. So again, you got a virtual tie for first between Tampa and Rollins, and that probably is the way it should be because Tampa and Rollins last year met in the Super Regional in the South, and Rollins went to Tampa and won both games. Kind of a shock probably to the Tampa fans. Again, Rollins went to the World Series last year, and they ended up finishing in third place. Florida Southern is certainly in the mix. They are 9-5. Florida Southern won their game today, the first game of the doubleheader against Lynn, 8-5. So Florida Southern's 9-5, and then Florida Tech is nipping at their heels. They're 9-6. So Florida Tech's only a half game out of third place. Again, keep in mind, Florida Southern and Lynn are actually going to play tomorrow, so they're done for today. So, Florida Southern has the season series against Florida Tech, so Florida Tech will have to overtake them to win any tiebreaker. Pitch on the way to Schneer's a high chopper right up the middle of the diamond. Urso fields, throws to first in time. Urso is perfectly positioned with Schneer being the left-handed batter. I mean, Urso is almost practically behind second. Didn't have to move very far to field it, and first ball swinging Schneer, he is out at first. One away in the bottom of the third inning. Again, Florida Tech up 8-5. Here's the catcher, Tate Hansen, and Hansen signaled and scored during that 8-run bottom of the first inning. Again, Florida Tech did not score in their half of the second. So we're back to a little bit of normalcy. And the pitch is a breaking ball in for a called strike, and it's 0-1 on Tate Hansen. Again, Tate wears number 37. That was Casey Stengel's number in his long baseball career with the Yankees, and then eventually finishing up his lifetime with the Mets. Pitch misses for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Of course, Casey Stengel won all those World Series and had been in the 40s and the 50s with the Yanks, and then became the Mets' first ever manager way back in 1962. War 37. There's a high fly ball down the left field line. Does this have a chance to go out? No, it does not. It's a foul ball, and it's caught at the fence by Lala, who comes up limping a little bit as he just kind of shovels the ball back in the infield. Not quite sure what happened, but he kind of landed poorly on his right foot, and he's like limping a little bit. But that ball actually almost went out of the park, but it would have gone out of the park foul. So Lala had a long run and made the play. So that is a long foul fly out to left field by Hansen. We'll have to keep an eye on Lala. He's still kind of hopping around a little bit. I might have hurt his right foot. So we'll have to see if he stays in the game long term. The pitch missed for a ball 1 on Gavin McGowan, who doubled in 2 runs back in the first inning. Again, McGowan committed an error in that 3-run first inning, so making up for the error by doubling in a couple of runs. The pitch outside for a ball. That'll run the count to 2 balls and no strikes. I'm still looking at Lala. He's still kind of walking around trying to shake off what looks like a minor injury. So we'll just have to keep an eye and see if he does stay in. The 2-ball pitch is in for a called strike right down Babcock Street, 2-1 on Gavin McGowan. So McGowan's making his 11th start of the year. Again, for Florida Tech, keep in mind this is their 33rd game. So McGowan has started about a third of the games and always available to come off the bench as a pinch hitter. Pitch misses, 3-1. Again, Gavin has a home run, 6 RBIs. So 15th appearance of the season and 11th start. And again, he's already played third base and first base this year, so he's primarily an infielder. The 3-1 pitch is a ground ball, and that's fair down the left field line. McGowan does it again in the same spot, and he will easily have a double as he coasts into second with his second double of the game. The difference here is nobody was on base. In the first inning, he doubled in 2 runs. So Gavin McGowan finding his stroke so far tonight. So double checking, that is the second double for Florida Tech, and McGowan has both of them. Isn't it interesting? McGowan only had 2 doubles the entire year. He gets 2 in this game, so he has 4 for the year. If you're wondering, Florida Tech now has 57 doubles on the year. There's a bunt put down. Trying to beat it out is Garrett. Hot potato gets the sour cream out. And let's see how they score that one. We'll be awaiting that one. So a beautiful bunt there by Garrett. And really, I thought maybe Nunez would have had a play at first, but again, that came up kind of a hot potato. So that'll bring up Blackstone. All right, that'll be an E5. So again, Garrett with the bunt, but probably would have been thrown out at first, so he reaches on the error. And McGowan goes to third, so the Panthers, you can never have enough runs against Tampa. They're going to try and score some more runs here. Pitch in for a called strike. And it's 0-1. So Blackstone up at the plate. He's 2 for 2, including an RBI single late in the first inning. There's a fly ball center field, but Lala's there and makes the catch, and that retires the side. So Panthers not able to score, even though they threatened in the third inning. So the Panthers send 5 batters to the plate, don't score, no runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left on base. So, boy, we've played 3 innings, and it has taken about an hour and 17 minutes. So we're in for a long one tonight, folks. It is 8-5 Florida Tech. So we'll pause and be back. This is Panther Baseball at FloridaTechSports.com. All right, welcome back. Top of the 4th inning. 8 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for Florida Tech. 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for Tampa. So who knows how this one's going to turn out. We got a long ways to go. We're a third of the way in. Drew Earhart, J.D. Urso, E.J. Cumbo to face Mitch Harding. The pitch. He squared around the bunt, did not offer, that being Earhart. Ball 1. Earhart an RBI single in that 3-run first. Also hit a tapper back to Harding in the second. Got double barrel action in the Panther bullpen. Talk about that here in a second. The 1-0 pitch is outside for a ball, 2-0. So we got Christian Galindo on the right. He wears number 9, and I'm trying to see who's on the left. Well, a couple of guys are now standing out there, so really it's only Galindo throwing. So 2-0 the count. There's a chopper foul down the toward the Tampa dugout, and it'll be a 2-1 count. Again, Harding getting a little bit high in the pitch count. We'll try and get that here in a minute. 2-1 on Earhart. I'm going to guess over 60. And there's a pitch inside for a ball. I was listening to the Marlins-Mets game today. The Marlins pitcher, I kid you not, I think by the 3rd inning, he had something like 80 pitches. Can you imagine 80 pitches and you're only in the 3rd? I don't think Harding's that high, but he's getting up there. The pitch is high for a ball, ball 4, and Earhart walks, so he's on for the 2nd time in the game. So that's the 4th walk of the game allowed by Harding, and that's going to warrant a visit by Tate Hansen. Now, on the Division II level, they evidently do keep track of the mound visits, whether it's by a coach, and now Jeff Tam's going to come out and join this conversation as Hansen went out. And Tam's going out, and let's see if this might be it, because usually when Tam comes out, the pitcher leaves. And he hasn't made the signal yet. Galindo, I think he just started throwing. He might need a little more time, or maybe not. He's walking. Oh, he might be coming in. So Mystery Theater will let you know. Galindo now pauses. I guess Harding's going to stay in, so let's see if Galindo goes back throwing. He kind of paused, wondering if he was going to come in. So I guess Galindo's thrown enough. He's going to take a break in the bullpen. So again, Earhart walks to start the top of the fourth inning. Tampa needs one more base runner to bring the potential tying run to the plate. Here's J.D. Urso, who has walked and singled and scored 2 runs. Pitch on the way is a high chopper. This will be a tough play for McGowan. Throw to first is in time. Oh, beautiful play by Gavin McGowan, who must have felt awful about making that error in the first inning. That was not an easy play, and then you got the speed of Urso to contend with. That was a little bit of a chopper, and McGowan stayed with it, fired the first for the out. Earhart does take second base. And that'll bring up E.J. Cumbo, the right fielder. And, if Cumbo were to hit a home run here, the game would not be tied. I mean, if Urso would have made it, Cumbo would have been the tying run at the plate. Cumbo 1 for 2. He singled back in the second inning after grounding out the short in the first. Pitch on the way is a fastball outside, ball 1 on E.J. Cumbo, who again comes in batting .402. And that single in the first inning, or in the second inning rather, was his 52nd of the year. Pitches outside for a ball. So I don't think Cumbo's going to get to 100 hits, but I'll tell you what, he can get up in the 80s, you would think. And, boy, I'll tell you, for a college player to get 80 hits in a year, that's a lot. Most college teams probably play between 50 and 60 games, depending on if they go deep in the postseason, which, of course, for Tampa has been a staple in their long history. Pitch is on the outside corner in for a strike, and it's a 2-1 on Cumbo. And again, what a history for Joe Urso in his 23rd year. 1992 Tampa graduate, and as a player, played on the 92 national championship team. So he was a part of 1 championship as a player and 5 as a coach in 23 years. Not a bad resume. The 2-1 pitch is a high chopper foul up the first base side past the Panther dugout, and that'll even the count up. 2-2 on E.J. Cumbo. Spelled C-U-M-B-O, Cumbo, like it sounds. No, E-Joe's a New Yorker, East Meadow, New York. New York Tech grad, or New York Tech transfer. New York Tech. So he must be pretty bright in the classroom. High chopper, right side. Blackstone with the backhand. He has to hurry. He's not going to get him. That's going to be an infield hit. Nothing Blackstone could do but show good range, backhanded. And, by the time he got the ball, Cumbo was at least 3/4 of the way up the line and easily beat it. So that'll be an infield hit for Cumbo. And now Anthony Nunez will come up representing the tying run at the plate. We're in the top of the fourth inning, 8-5 Florida Tech. Runners on first and third and 1 out. Nunez is 0 for 2. Left-handed batter, slightly open stance from the left side. So Harding in a bit of a pickle here. Has to be careful. Harding at the set. And the pitch, in for a called strike, inside corner. So 0-1 on Anthony Nunez. Nunez, can't really call him a light hitter. He's batting .292 with 2 homers and 19 runs batted in. The pitch is a chopper to Eldridge at first. Fair ball. He has to go to first. He'll get the sure out. Did not attempt to come home. The run scores. Could not get the play at second. I think Eldridge was thinking about if he fielded it well to throw to second, but kind of hesitated and thought, you know what, I got to get the sure out. It's now 8-6. So RBI ground out, unassisted. Nunez gets the RBI, and Earhart scores, and it's now 8-6. Runner to second is Cumbo. So tying run at the plate, here's Jamarcus Lyons, the left fielder. Pitch on the way is in for a call strike. I erred. It was Lyons who made that great catch in left field in foul territory, taking it from going over the fence, and then he came up limping. But looks like he's okay. Just limping a little bit, but shaking it off, at least for now. There's a high fly ball, left center field. This one might leave the yard. And it is what? It is gone. Schneer's hoping to get it. Made a good effort. But it's over the wall right in front of the big scoreboard. And Tampa has tied the game at 8-8. So Jamarcus Lyons leaves the yard with a 2-run home run. So that ball got out of the ballpark. Didn't really get out by as much as I thought it might. But a 2-run homer to left center field right in front of the chapel and below the scoreboard. So that scored Cumbo ahead of him. And, folks, we've got an 8-8 tie. We're only in the top of the fourth, 2 outs and nobody on. Here is Santiago Garavito. The pitch is in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Again, Santiago Garavito, he's out of Plantation, Florida. Went to American Heritage High School down in Plantation. The pitch is high for a ball, 1-1. Again, if you're familiar with high schools in southern Florida, there's American Heritage in Delray Beach, and there's an American Heritage in Plantation, and that's the one that Garavito went to. The 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed, and it'll be a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Garavito. Santiago coming in, batting .294, 2 home runs, and 14 runs batted in. 0 for 1 and a walk in this game. So Harding at the set. Pitch is outside for a ball, and I should point out that Harding doesn't really have a natural windup, so even with nobody on base, he pretty much uses his set position. Well, Christian Galindo, who was throwing earlier in the Panther bullpen, took a break, but he is back throwing in the pen, so he might be the next pitcher. Pitch is outside. He did not swing. And it's a 2-ball and 2-strike count. So Galindo could be the long man tonight. Again, we're only in the 4th inning. Sometimes Danny Vasallo is the long man. Wouldn't rule him out either. The 3-2 is swung on and missed. Nasty breaking ball by Harding. He gets out of the inning, but Tampa able to tie the ball game. So Garavito strikes out. That's only the second strikeout for Harding, and he might very well be done because, again, the pitch count is very high. So the big run in the inning, a 2-run homer by Jamarcus Lyons. That was after the RBI ground out by Nunez. So Tampa, well, they sent only 6 batters to the plate, but they score 3 runs on 2 hits, and a walk was mixed in. So we go to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Andy Semenick Let's Hall Field on the campus of Florida Tech, and we are tied at 8. Again, J.C. Miles with you, FloridaTechSports.com. So again, earlier today, want to mention that St. Leo defeated Auburn Montgomery. So St. Leo was the one team in the conference actually playing a non-conference game because, well, that's going to happen because you got 11 teams in the conference, and if everybody plays, somebody's got to be playing non-conference. So St. Leo's actually playing a doubleheader against Auburn Montgomery, and they won the first game 9-8 in 11 innings. So they're currently playing game number 2. Again, Rollins beat Eckert 7-6 in the first game of the doubleheader. Again, they're playing another one. Barry defeated Palm Beach Atlantic 5-4. They're playing a second game today. Florida Southern and Lynn only playing one game today. In fact, they played yesterday, and Lynn won that one 5-1. But Florida Southern bounced back today, beat Lynn 8-5. So they're actually playing a traditional 3-game series. They played yesterday. They played one today. They're going to play one tomorrow, and then they'll be done ahead of the Easter Sunday celebration. Also, Nova playing Embry Riddle in a doubleheader today, and Nova won that game 10-3. And again, they're playing a doubleheader. So a lot of baseball going on in the Sunshine State Conference. Again, these two teams just playing a single game tonight, and then a doubleheader tomorrow at 2. Wow. The pitch on the way is outside for a ball. What am I wowing about? My thanks to the lovely Christina Hartman, who's out here helping us out, the head of athletic communications. So she's one of the big cheeses on campus and a very nice lady. So 93 pitches for Harding. Boy, that is a lot. There's a ground ball right back up the middle. Fielded, though, thrown to first, and in time by J.D. Urso. J.D., who, again, I think primarily is the designated hitter, but playing shortstop tonight and looking smooth behind second base. So Eldridge is out. I thought maybe he was going to have a chance to beat that out, but not the case. One away in the bottom of the fourth inning. Again, we're tied at 8. Here's Josh Ford, the Panther designated hitter. So I think there are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and I don't think Harding's going to come out for another inning. 93 pitches in 4 innings. Breaking ball outside, ball 1 to Ford. And Josh has done something I don't think he's done this year. He's not only 0 for 2, but he has struck out twice, once swinging and once looking. Again, coming in, he had struck out only 11 times all year, so now he's struck out 13 times on the year, which isn't a lot. There's a chopper foul, just foul, down the left field line by Josh Ford. So it'll be a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Josh. So Josh is trying to keep a 7-game hitting streak going. He's trying to keep a 21-game reach-base streak going. Batting .403 with a home run and 16 runs batted in. The 1-1 pitch by Linder is in for a ball. Wow, where was that one? That was very close. Call the ball, 2-1 on Ford. Again, Ford leads the team in slugging, .507, and an on-base, .533. And he has that Jeff Bagwell stance from about 15 years ago. Ball's fouled off down the left field line. Well, again, I was never really an Astro fan, and I certainly wasn't after the cheating scandal, but I really liked those Astro teams where it was Biggio and Bagwell. They called them the B-Boys. And Bagwell had a stance very similar to Ford, and it's not working out for Ford today. He has struck out thrice in the game. So Ford having a tough time. Twice swinging, once looking. And that'll bring up Brett Kelly. I'll tell you, that was a really good breaking ball by Linder, who's one of the few pitchers of the Tampa staff who actually has a natural curve. I mean, a bunch of them are fastball, changeup, and slider pitchers. This ball fouled off straight back by Brett Kelly, the Panther left fielder. Kelly with a big hit in that 8-run first, 2 RBI single. Again, the Panthers scored 8 runs and had 10 hits in that first inning. In the last 3 innings so far, no runs on 2 hits. That ball's fouled off and out of play. By the way, Panther softball having a tough time over in Tampa. Lost today 11-7. They gave it a try in the top of the 7th inning. I was watching part of that game before I came out here. They scored 3, but fell 4 runs short. The pitch is lined down the left center field by Kelly. Base hit. Ball thrown back in by Lala. So Kelly is on with a 2-out single, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Cole Patrick. That is hit number 13, I believe, for Florida Tech. And that'll bring up Cole Patrick, who had the big hit in that big first inning. A 3-run homer, his 5th of the season. So Patrick again now updating 5 home runs and 14 runs batted in. He's coming in just batting .245, but he's gotten a lot out of that average. Pitch in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. So again, Patrick, 5 homers, 14 RBIs. Patrick's only walked 3 times this year, trying to get a little better in that category. So his on-base percentage not terribly high. Strike 1 pitch is a chopper to second, and they'll go the short way to second. In fact, that'll be Saladino taking it unassisted to the bag from second base, and the inning is over. So, again, Florida Tech, after scoring 8 runs in the first inning and sending 12 batters to the plate, they've been pretty much held in check. They've only gotten 3 base runners in the last 3 innings of work. In the 4th inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We have played 4 innings. And we are tied at 8. Long ways to go in this one. So stay with us. We'll take a break and be back. This is Panther Baseball at FloridaTechSports.com. All right, welcome back. Top of the 5th inning. So Mitch Harding threw 93 pitches. He had the feeling he wasn't going to come back for the 5th, and I was actually correct. So Christian Galindo comes in what might be a long relief stint, depending on how he does, obviously. Galindo, a 1-1 record, a 4.24 ERA. He's actually started 4 games this year, but mostly out of the bullpen. He's allowed 17 hits in 17 innings. He's allowed 9 runs, 8 of the 9 earned. He has walked 14. He has struck out 15. So he's got the strikeout-to-walk ratio in the right direction, but just 15 to 14. He has allowed 2 home runs, and opponents are batting .250 against him. So Galindo into the ball game. Again, Christian, right-handed pitcher, 5'10 freshman out of Pembroke Pines down near the Fort Lauderdale area. In fact, he's a transfer from Broward Community College. Forensic psychology major. And he wants to try and continue his baseball career, or you guessed it, he would be a forensic psychologist. So it's always, hey, when you're a ball player in college, you might think you're pretty good, and maybe you are, but always good to have a backup. That's why you have to keep the academics going. And at Florida Tech, you can't skirt the academics. Sean Halp knows that. You got to go to class. It's not like Kentucky basketball, I'll tell you that. No offense to Calipari at Kentucky, but I shouldn't have said that about Calipari, but you know how it goes in Kentucky and in the blue country. All right, Nico Saladino to lead off. So Galindo's first batter will be Saladino, and Saladino is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. So the pitch by Christian. Bunt is put down, and it's a foul ball. And good thing that wasn't fair. McGowan was playing a little bit deep, and Saladino might have been able to beat that out pretty easily, but instead it's strike 1. And we'll give you the book on Harding here in a minute. Again, 93 pitches, which for 4 innings, that is very high, so best that he comes out of the game. Harding did have 1 scoreless inning, but Tampa's gotten him in 3 of the 4 innings. Pitch in low for a ball. That'll even the count up 1-1 on Nico Saladino. So it'll be 8-9-1 in the batting order. Saladino, Gutcher, and Alala. Schneer's playing Saladino slightly to go to right center. The 1-ball, 1-strike pitch is lifted out to center. Schneer has to go back near the warning track, but he's got it. Well, that ball got quickly out to him. He had to be ready, but Schneer always plays a really good, center field. And I say that because he has no errors this year in center. 0. Well, again, that is a tribute to the Panther outfield over the last 5 years. I mean, who do we have in center field recently? Gronberg played a lot of center field for Florida Tech about 3 or 4 years ago. He never committed an error. Pitch on the way is outside for a ball 1. Yeah, Daniel Speak, who played right field, he might have committed 1 or 2 errors in a given season. And then you had Wilson in left. Was it Alex Wilson? I can't remember his first name, but David Wilson. It was David Wilson. He didn't commit many errors. Pitch is outside for a ball. That might have caught the hand of Hansen, which reminds me that Johnny Bench kind of invented catching with one hand back in the early 70s. And other catchers have followed through, but some still want to do two-handed. But that's the drawback is you never want to be a catcher and have that hit your throwing hand, which would be the right hand, and hopefully Hansen's okay. He's still kind of shaking it off. All right, 2 balls and no strikes on Danny Gutcher. He is 1 for 2 with a single in the 3rd inning. The pitch misses for a ball. And it's ball 3, 3 balls and no strikes. So Galindo comes in, and he's thrown 3 balls to Gutcher. Pitch by Galindo. Nice pitch. Is in for a called strike. It's 0-1. Galindo is a fastball, a curveball, and changeup. 3-1 the count. And the pitch is sliced down the right field line, but that's going to keep slicing, and it's going to go foul. And the count is 3-2. So, again, each team with 8 runs. We're tied at 8 here in the 5th. Florida Tech has out-hit Tampa 14-9. Tampa's played errorless baseball. Florida Tech does have 2 errors on the docket. So it'll be a 3-2 by Galindo to Gutcher. And a foul ball. Barely foul, but got enough to stay alive. Gutcher at the plate. Again, Gutcher coming in batting .284. But has a team-high 6 home runs. He shares that lead with E.J. Dosco, who is not in the lineup in this game. Dosco, pretty much a regular, but sitting out this one. I imagine he'll play at least one of the 2 games tomorrow. He's a pretty good hitter. So a pretty good hitter was not in the lineup for Tampa. They got a boatload of them. The 3-2 pitch is off the outside corner. Oh, so close. But called a ball by the home plate umpire, Kevin Flay. So a 1-out walk to Gutcher. He represents the go-ahead run on at first base. Again, we're tied at 8 in the 5th inning. So first walk allowed by Galindo. Harding walked 4 in the game. I got to give you those numbers on Harding. Pitch is low for a ball. Again, he gave up 8 runs on 9 hits in 4 innings of work. Again, he threw 93 pitches. He struck out 2 and he walked 4. Did not hit a batter, which was good. Changeup, a beauty by Galindo, in for a called strike outside corner, 1-1 on Jordan Lala, who hit into a 6-4 in the air double play back in the 3rd inning. But prior to that, he walked and scored, stole base, and singled and walked. And there's a bad throw by Galindo, I think. I had my head down. So that'll be a E1, okay. So a throwing error on Galindo, trying to keep Gutcher close, and an errant throw. That should be a commandment by a broadcaster. Thou shalt not ever put your head down even for 2 seconds, because you might miss something. I was recording something in my hieroglyphic scorebook with an 8-8 tie here in the 5th. Pitch is in for a ball inside, and it's 2-1. Well, they used to have of course, there have been a lot of jokes about Yogi Berra, a lot of them in jest, and Yogi evidently would keep score of games, and when he didn't see what happened, he would put down WW, wasn't watching. That's another Yogiism, one of many. There's a ball down the left field line, fair ball, and Tampa's going to have the lead back, and this will be an easy double for Lala. He coasts into second, driving in Gutcher, and Tampa, who led 3-0 very early in the game, and then fell behind 8-3. They have the lead back for the second time. Nice piece of hitting, kind of a inside-out swing by Lala, going very well down the left field line the opposite way. So Lala RBI double, drives in Gutcher, 9-8 for Tampa, and Lala doubling is on second. There's only 1 out, and here's Drew Earhart, the first baseman. Drew is 1 for 2, a walk, and 2 runs scored. And Galindo, the pitch is a fastball high. It's a ball 1 on Earhart. So Earhart had an RBI single in the first, scored a run. And later in the 4th, he walked and eventually scored. In fact, he scored an RBI ground out to first, unassisted by Nunez. Ball 1 is the count. Galindo, check of the runner at second. And now he looks at second, does not throw. You're allowed to do that. So 1 ball, no strikes on Anthony Nunez, or on Drew Earhart, rather. So Galindo, long look into Hansen. And the 1-1 is a breaking ball low, and it's 2-1. Now the Panthers are getting some more action up in the bullpen. Again, Jeff Tam, the perfect formula with him would be to get some long relief out of Galindo, because, again, you got a doubleheader tomorrow. You want to save in your pitching a little bit. Try and pick up who that is throwing in the pen. 2-1 the count. Galindo, check of the runner at second. Fastball's high and goes off the glove of Hansen, and going to third is Lala. He's in La La Land, I guess. Try not to use that again. Pass ball or wild pitch? Okay. All right, wild pitch is the call on that one. So Tampa, 1 run in here in the 5th, up 9-8 and looking for more. Runner on third, 1 out, 3-1 count on Earhart. Galindo with the 3-1 pitch. It's outside. It gets by Hansen. Here comes another run. Throw to the plate. Will not be in time. Pretty close, but scoring from third is Lala. So Lala was wild pitch to third, and he's wild pitched home, and Tampa gets another run, and it's now 10-8 here in the 5th inning. Well, again, there's really no team you want to give extra outs to. I mean, I don't care if it's a really poor team or a really great team, but you can't do that with Tampa because they will just eat you alive. We're going to have a summit on the mound as Hansen goes out to talk to Galindo and Joining the conversation is Blackstone, so it's a three-person summit on the mound. And Kevin Flay is going to walk out to the mound, try and speed things up a little bit. And the summit is breaking up. And now Jeff Tam is going to come out, and he is taking the slow walk out to the mound because he wants the pitcher in the bullpen to get a few more throws. So he might be making a pitching change here. Again, we're trying to pick up who that number is in the bullpen. It's pretty far away. Well, I'll pick it up in a minute. No big deal. It's a right-hander, I can tell you that. And let's see if Galindo's going to stay in. Tam is going to have a conversation here, and Kevin Flay is going to walk back to home plate. He's going to give Tam a little bit of time here, but we'll see how much time Kevin Flay grants Tam. And again, the commissioner of baseball, Rob Manfred, he does not like this. We got to speed the games up. So Flay is going to be, I think, a little more diplomatic. Now, if he were a home plate umpire, Manfred's saying, you got to get out there. We got to get home under 3 hours. So Flay is walking out to the mound, and he's going to ask Tam to make a decision. Make an executive decision. Oh, the signal goes to the bullpen. So will be a new pitcher. So unfortunately, Galindo does not get out of the fifth inning. He only faced three batters, and he only retired one of them. So Galindo certainly has to be disappointed, but he'll have many more games to try and get better. Let's see what number that is. Pretty tall guy, I can tell you that. So this will be the third Panther pitcher. Again, Harding went 4, and Galindo just goes a third of the inning. Now, the book is not closed. We got inherited base runners. So we'll pick up the pitcher here in a minute. Is that 38? Hey, can you see who the pitcher is over there?
38.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you. All right. So 38 is the new pitcher for Florida Tech, and that is Zach Rogers, who has no record, a 7.3 ERA. 13th appearance. That actually leads the team. He takes over the lead from Vassallo. So strictly in relief is Rogers. No starts. 25 hits allowed and 16 innings of work. 15 runs allowed, 13 of the 15 earned. He has walked 5. He has struck out 12. Opposing batters are batting .347 against him, and Rogers has allowed 2 home runs in 16 innings of work. Rogers, 6'5", 190-pound sophomore from Advance, North Carolina. So the western part of the Carolinas is where Zach Rogers is from. So he throws in his warm-up pitches. Let me see if Rogers pitched last weekend. Actually, he did. He did against Eckerd. That was the 13-8 victory for Florida Tech in the second game of the doubleheader last Saturday against Eckerd. Again, a 13-8 win Florida Tech. Rogers was the third pitcher. He followed Cleveland and Briscoda, and he preceded Cook and Galindo. He pitched 2 1/3 innings, didn't do too badly. Gave up an earned run on 6 hits, didn't walk anybody, struck out 2, and he threw 39 pitches. So he has had 5 days off since pitching last Saturday. So again, Advanced North Carolina, his hometown. So again, Drew Earhart is on at first base. So again, the book not totally closed on Galindo. Earhart, an inherited runner. Rogers will try and help his teammate out. There's a changeup missing for a ball, and it's ball 1. So J.D. Urso is the batter. J.D. has been on base twice. He has singled, walked, and scored 2 runs. And the pitch by Zach is in the dirt, gets over to the side of Hansen, but quickly gets to it like a quick Panther should. And the runner holds at first base. So again, J.D. Urso, the son of the head coach, Joe Urso, is in his 23rd year. So J.D. would not have been born when Joe started his tenure at Tampa, because 23rd year, I imagine J.D. is either 19 or 20. So pitch on the way is swung on and missed. I'll tell you, that kind of puts things in perspective, doesn't it? So you're the head coach, you're coaching your son, and when you start at your alma mater, no less, your son wasn't born yet. But here he is, JD, again, either 19 or 20 years old, I'm guessing. Swung on and missed. Nice pitch there by Rogers, and it's a 2-ball and 2-strike count. And again, I chatted with Joe Urso. It's just a class act. I'll tell you, with all the success he has had, he could be going the other way, but he is so well-grounded and so polite. Right? Just enjoy talking to him so much. 2-2 pitch is waved at and missed, and Urso is struck out. So JD strikes out, so Rogers comes in, gets a big strikeout with the runner on first, and there are now 2 outs. So first strikeout, obviously, of Rogers. That was the first batter he faced. Here's E.J. Cumbo, the right fielder. Cumbo has had a good night, 2 singles. He is 2 for 3 and a run scored. And the pitch is in the dirt, ball 1. I tell you, I wish I could consult somebody in Major League Baseball who's seen a lot of baseball over the years and say, you know, Cumbo reminds me of who in Major League Baseball, say in the last 25 years, as far as his stance. Because I'll tell you, he reminds me of somebody, and I just can't pinpoint who it is. There's a chopper wide of first. Backing up is Eldridge. Goes to the bag for the out, and that retires the side. So Rogers comes in and doesn't allow anything. But in the inning, the Spartans score 2 runs. The big hit in the inning, an RBI double by Alala. So we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is Tampa 10 and Florida Tech 8. So, again, this is a big series for Florida Tech. You know, it's kind of the litmus test whenever you play Tampa, and it's not just Florida Tech. Every team that plays Tampa, you know, they want to get fired up for the series and show that they got the potential to at least beat them in a series. Well, Rollins did that last year. Again, Tampa made one Southern Regional in the postseason. Rollins went to the other regional. I mean, there are now 2 regionals in each part of the country. I mean, Midwest, West, South, and East. I think that covers the planet. And Rollins won their South Regional. Tampa won their South Regional. So they play what is called the Super Regional, which is still fairly new on the NCAA Division II baseball level. I think it's only been around for about 2 or 3 years. I mean, it's been around for quite a while in Division I baseball. In fact, Division I softball as well. So Rollins went to Tampa last year. Best 2 out of 3, Super Regional, winner going to the World Series, and Rollins went to Tampa and won that Super Regional, went to the World Series, finished 3rd. So, you know, Tampa's made the World Series a lot. In fact, they have the 5 national championships. One of the national championships was one that Urso was not involved in, either as a player or a coach. It was one of the previous managers. And Urso also has 1 national runner-up finish in 2003. So he's been to the World Series, I want to say 6 times, and he has won 5 national championships. Pitches outside for a ball 1. And actually, you know what? He's been to the World Series more than 6 times. 5 national championships, 1 national runner-up, and then quarterfinals and semifinals and some of the other, you know, appearances. Schneier hits a rocket down the right field side, but it's foul. That was a severe hook. That goes into the Farmer Hall parking lot, which is the middle dormitory here. Again, you've got Hartley Hall, you got Farmer Hall, and then you got the unnamed hall, which I've been lobbying for years should be named by none other than William T. Juergens. Pitch on the way is a high chopper. Is that going to be fair or foul? It's going to be fair, fortunately for Tampa. And stepping on the bag is the first baseman, Earhart. That could not have been an easier play for Earhart. Wait for the ball to come down, and then your foot is already on the first base bag. So Schneier is out. He is now 1 for 3, and that'll bring up the catcher, Tate Hansen. Hansen is 1 for 2 and a run scored. Again, he had a single during that 8-run, 10-hit bottom of the first inning. So the scoring has slowed down a little bit since the first and second innings. In fact, Florida Tech has not scored since that 8-run first. 3 consecutive goose eggs on the board. But trailing just 10-8. Florida Tech has actually out-hit Tampa 14-10, but they trail 10-8 on the scoreboard. Pitch to Hansen is a high pop-up foul right side and out of play. So strike one the count on Tate Hansen. Tate was 3 for 7 in the Eckert series last weekend, including a 2 for 3 and 2 runs scored in the 8-7 Florida Tech win. In fact, he only played in 2 of the 3 games, pitching for a called strike. Didn't play in the Friday night game last week, but played in the doubleheader last Saturday. And again, 2 for 3 in the first game, 1 for 4 in the second game. That 1 for 4 was a good one, a 2 RBI single to help Florida Tech to that 13-8 win. Pitch misses for a ball, and it's 1-2 on Tate Hansen. Again, Hansen out of Naples High. You would not want me to say he was out of Barron Collier. He'd probably punch me in the nose if I said that by mistake. The 1-2 pitch is a roller foul. You know, I'm not quite sure how big that rivalry is amongst all the sports, but Naples and Barron Collier, I mean, they're in the same town, and I mean, that could be, USC, UCLA, Harvard, Yale. And how about Auburn and Alabama, the Iron Bowl? Probably the fiercest rivalry in sports. The 1-2 pitch. High fly ball, deep left center field, but it's going to stay in the ballpark. Lala is there and makes the catch. So Hansen sent that a long way, high in the air, but almost reached the warning track, but Hansen is out, 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th. And now bring up the Panther third baseman, Gavin McGowan, who is he's got double-itis tonight. So not senioritis, but double-itis. He has 2 doubles, a 2 RBI double in that 8-run first. He also ended up scoring a run, and a double with nobody on base in the third. The pitch to Gavin is a pitch in for a called strike, and it's 0-1 on Gavin McGowan. Gavin is out of Sugarloaf, Pennsylvania, 6'0", 190 junior. Old Sugarloaf. Pitch is in for a ball. Or no, yeah, it is a ball. A check, but did not swing, and it's 1-1. You know, my grandmother, who lived 96 years in Miami Shores, used to have a cat named Sugar Plum. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. Ball's fouled off and out of play. Again, Sugarloaf, PA is the hometown for McGowan, so not quite sure if those two things really connect, but thought I'd throw it out there. I'll tell you, Sugar Plum was a wonderful cat. Lived a great life. I mean, that was back in the 70s. 50 years ago. The 1-2. High fly ball. There's another Dave Kingman special from the 70s. Very high in the air. Oh, it's dropped. So that was a tough play. It was so deep that Lala couldn't get to it, and Urso, the shortstop, had to go all the way out there, and for him, that was a difficult play. Urso made a great catch earlier in the game, but that one goes off of his glove. And I think they're still debating how they're going to score that. Not the easiest play in the world, but you know what? If it touches your glove, maybe you should catch it. Anyway, on first is McGowan. So that will be an error. So that'll be an E6 on Urso. That's kind of a tough error, but I can see why it could be scored an error as well. Pitch in for a ball. It's ball 1. So McGowan is on base for the third time tonight, 2 doubles, and he reaches on the error by Urso. So McGowan on first with 2 outs being held on by Earhart. It'll be a ball 1 pitch to Gabe Garrett, and it misses for a ball. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Garrett is 2 for 3, 2 singles, including an infield hit and a run scored. Also did reach on an error when he bunted the ball, and the ball was bobbled by the third baseman, Nunez. The 2-0 pitch is on the outside corner in for a strike, and it's 2-1. A little bit of griping from the Panther dugout on that one. You know, occasionally Kevin Flay, the home plate umpire, is given the outside corner, and occasionally he has not. It'll be a 2-1. And that is a chopper foul. That's still Linder out there, right, for Tampa, second pitcher. I just want to double-check. That is Linder still out there. I just want to double-check that. Okay. That ball's lifted and caught. Running on the play was McGowan with 2 outs, so no harm there, but picked off by Saladino, the second baseman, and that retires the side. So, yeah, Linder, I'll tell you, Linder's done a really good job. He came in, finished up that 8-run first inning. he has not allowed any runs, and he has pitched just about 6 innings and has not allowed a run. So you talk about long relief, Linder doing the job. All right, nothing across for Florida Tech in their half of the 6th inning. We've played 6, 10-8 Tampa. We're going to pause and be back. This is Panther Baseball at FloridaTechSports.com. All right, welcome back. We go to the top of the 6th inning. And again, recapping this game in a nutshell for Tampa, 10 runs on 10 hits. That's pretty simple. 1 error. Florida Tech, 8 runs, 14 hits. But the big bugaboo for Florida Tech, I'd have to really look close to the scoreboard, see if the 3 errors have really impacted the game, but they certainly haven't helped. 3 errors for the Panthers. So Florida Tech has out-hit Tampa 14-10, but down 10-8 in the scoreboard as we begin the top of the 6th inning. And for the Spartans, it'll be 5, 6, and 7 in their batting order. Anthony Nunez, Jamarcus Lyons, and Santiago Garavito. I love saying that name. Again, he sounds like a famous artist from about 500 years ago. Here's Nunez. He is 0 for 3, but he does have an RBI and a ground out. And that was in the 4th inning. The pitch is swung on and missed by Nunez, and it's 0-1. So Zach Rogers out for another inning. Again, he came in relief of Harding at the end of the 5th inning and retired the 2 batters that he faced. Pitch in for a called strike. That'll run the count to 0-2 on Rogers. The Panthers have a couple players playing catch in the bullpen. Nobody really officially warming up, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Outfield straight away against Nunez. The pitch is low and inside. That'll run the count to 1-2 on Anthony Nunez. So again, Tampa at 24-7, 13-2 in the conference. They were 44-13 last year, and again making it to the South Super Regional where they were eliminated by Rollins. The pitch misses for a ball. He did not swing. I think the Florida Tech dugout probably thought it was a strike. The heck with the check swing. So the natives getting restless in Florida Tech land. The 1-2 pitch by Rogers is a pop-up foul left side and out of play over toward Panther Field, which at about 11 o'clock tomorrow will be busy as we got men's lacrosse going on. We got women's lacrosse going on at 10 tomorrow morning against St. Leo. So it'll be lacrosse to the left, lacrosse to the right, but baseball actually doesn't start till 2. The 2-2 pitch is inside for a ball, and it'll be 3-2. So I'll tell you what, if you're a Florida Tech supporter for sports, you should come out and check out the first half for the men's lacrosse and then the second half for the women, or maybe vice versa. Pitch missed for a ball, it's ball 4. So Earhart walks, or not, and Nunez walks. Getting a little bit too ahead of myself. So first walk allowed by Rogers. That is the 5th time that Tampa's walked in the game. And that'll bring up Jamarcus Lyons, the left fielder. Well, you never like to walk people, particularly a leadoff walk. So Jamarcus Lyons comes up, and Lyons hit a 2-run homer in the 4th inning. The pitch is in for a called strike, 0-1 to Lyons. So Lyons reached on an error in the 1st, grounded out to 3rd in the 2nd, then hit the 2-run homer in the 4th inning, and that tied the game. And then eventually the Spartans went ahead. The pitch by Rogers is just off the outside corner. That'll be the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. For Lyons, that was only his 2nd home run of the year. For Tampa as a team, it was their 29th. The 1-1 by Rogers is low and outside. That'll make the count 2-1 on Jamarcus Lyons, who wears the number 0. Local product out of Tampa, a transfer from my alma mater, UCF. So he was a UCF Knight at a time. That one is hit right back up the middle. Low bridge for Rogers. Base hit. Going to second is Nunez. He will stop there. Oh, boy. That could have been awful. Rogers barely getting his head out of the way. in all the years I've been alive, and I'll be 62 next month. I can't wait for that. Still, 3 years away from Medicare. But I've been a baseball fan since I was about 8 years old. I still remember John Matlack of the Mets in 1972. 51 years ago. Marty Perez of the Braves sent a shot right up the middle toward the head, just like Nunez did of Rogers. And it hit Matlack right in the forehead. And you know what? He was okay eventually. He got a concussion, but he eventually recovered, which is amazing. Pitch on the way is fouled off and out of play. I'll tell you, that could have ended so much worse for Matlack, who was, one of the great Met pitchers in the early 70s. So we're glad Rogers is okay. Baseball's a game of inches. That was one illustration there. All right, Tampa's got runners on first and second, nobody out. They lead 10-8 in the sixth inning. No indication of bunt here by Garavito. Let's see if he changes up here. Oh, now he's going to square around. Gets the bunt down, but it's foul. That one a little bit of English on it. It rotated to the right side and stayed foul, so it's, believe it's an 0-1 count. Garavito is 0 for 2 in a walk. So, Rogers in a bit of a pickle here. Middle of the infield, back at double play depth. Eldridge is not holding the runner Lyons on at first. He's playing well wide of the bag. The pitch is into the right side. Blackstone will bobble it. Goes in the right field. A run will score, and we got a runner to third. So Blackstone not able to come up with it, and the Spartans have another run, and it's now 11-8. So that'll be an error. That'll be an E4 on Blackstone. So that drives in Nunez, and it sends Lyons to third. And things getting a little bit worse for Rogers. That's a play that Blackstone usually makes. He did have to angle to his left a little bit, but that's a play he should make, but he couldn't make it. So Lyons goes to third. And Tampa again now leads at 11-8. They now have 11 runs on 11 hits. Here's Saladino, the second baseman. Runners first and third, nobody out. I'm a little bit surprised the middle of the infield is not playing in. Trying to cut a run down at the plate. You're down by 3 here in the sixth. Pitch in the dirt. Nice block there by Hansen. It's ball 1 on Saladino. Saladino's been a tough out today, or he's 2 for 3 in the game. 2 singles in the first and third. He was the first batter that Galindo faced in the 5th inning. Galindo was in briefly, and he flew out to center. Florida Tech cannot afford to give up too many more runs, down by 3 here in the top of the 6th. The pitch is hit in the right field, base hit, and this will be run number 12 for Tampa. Stopping at second is going to be Garavito, and on to first base with an RBI single is Saladino as he drives in Lyons, and it's a 2-run inning so far in the 6th inning, and it's a 12-8 Tampa lead. And that'll bring up Danny Gutcher, the catcher. Danny is 1 for 2, a walk, and a run scored. No action in the Panther bullpen. We might get some action here pretty shortly, though. So 12-8 Tampa, and again, the real bad news, there's nobody out. And Tampa's about to flip the lineup. Gutcher bats 9th. He squares around the bunt, bunts it up in the air. Rogers will field. Rogers will throw, and just in time, Gutcher hustling down the line. So sacrifice successful, 1-3, and that moves Garavito to third and Saladino to second. Well, that's a smart thing to do. For one thing, it's a number 9 hitter. Gutcher's a new hitter, a good hitter. But if you're going to bunt with anybody, you might as well bunt with your number 9 hitter. So runners on second and third, 1 out. Now the Panther infield is going to come in all the way around. Eldridge at first. Blackstone at second, Garrett at short, McGowan at third, all practically playing on the infield grass. It's now a 4-run Tampa lead in the 6th. Pitch is in the dirt. Nice block by Hansen, and it's ball 1 on top of the batting order, Jorlan Lala, who has had a very good game. He has scored 3 runs. He has a walk, a single, and an RBI double. So I'll tell you, it just gets tougher and tougher to combat this Tampa squad. They have scored 12 runs, and they're probably thinking, well, we're not done yet. Pitch is in for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Again, this is top of the batting order, so you got Lala batting first, and you got Earhart on deck, and then Urso. So a tough spot for Rogers. He won't be in too many more tougher spots than this all season. Again, the entire infield is in, looking for a possible ground ball. The 2-0 pitch is on the outside corner. Nice changeup by Rogers, in for a called strike, and it's 2-1. Well, Coach Tam is saying to Rogers, you know what? You got to try and get out of this because there's nobody in the bullpen warming up. Again, Tam does have to think ahead to tomorrow. You're playing a doubleheader. You don't want to use up all your pitching. The 2-1 pitch is a ground ball sharply hit but foul down the right field line. That'll even the count of 2-2 on Jordan Lala. Again, L-A-L-A. I hope he wasn't the brunt of jokes in elementary school. Everybody going, la-la, la-la, ha-ha. I substitute teach. That kind of stuff does go on in the classroom, folks. I mean, sometimes it's good-natured, though. Sometimes it's not. The 2-2 is hit. There goes the bat. There goes the ball. And fortunately, the bat lands in no man's land in the grass. Well, at least there, the ball did go farther than the bat. And one of the Panther, I think that's Alex Carpenter picking the bat up. Okay. So Lala let the bat go. Unfortunately, it was not in the area of any human being. And let's see, is Lala going to get a new bat? Yes, he is. He's going to retire that bat, I guess. Some batters will go and get the pine tar rag going and keep the bat, but Lala says, hey, Earhart, let me try your bat. Earhart, being the good teammate, says, all right, I want it back, though. It is aluminum. It shouldn't break. 2-2 the count. Again, second and third, one out. Panther infield is in. This will be a big 2-2 by Rogers. And it's fouled off left side, and the battle goes on between Lala and Rogers. Well, again, last year, Tampa outscored Florida Tech in the 3-game series 38-7. So far tonight, this is not too bad. It's just 12-8. But Rogers trying to get out of this jam. Again, we're only in the 6th. But again, a 4-run deficit against Tampa really is plenty if you're Florida Tech. The 2-2 pitch is fouled off again. That actually comes back in the field of play, and Joe Urso actually has to duck as that went off the top of the net. So Joe Urso is the head coach in his 23rd year, and he likes to coach third base. He wants to stay in the game. And what a game he has coached and played for a good part of his life. He's got to be in his mid-50s. Again, he's a 92 graduate of Tampa, so he's probably about 21 or 22, so he's got to be about 55. Joe Urso, all grown up and still doing incredible things. The 2-2 pitch. And it's in the dirt, wild pitch, and a run is going to score, and a runner to third. So that'll be the first wild pitch by Rogers. I know Harding had a couple of those. So it is now 13-8. And Lala still at the plate with a 3-2 count. So Garavito scored, and Saladino is now standing on third. Pitch by Rogers is a ground ball foul, hooked foul over toward the first base side, and the Panther dugout. Count remains at 3-2. So for Tampa, 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and so far here in the sixth, 3. The only inning they have not scored in is the third. Florida Tech has 8 runs, all in the bottom of the first. They have not scored in the last 4 innings. The 3-2 is lifted out in the left field. This is going to fall in for a base hit, and the run's going to score easily. That is what you call a Texas leaguer in Florida, and depositing it in no man's land is Lala, maybe into La land. So RBI Lala, he is racking up the hits and the RBIs tonight, and it's now 14-8 as Saladino scores. So far it's a 4-run top of the 6th inning for Tampa, and that is the third RBI in the game for Lala. Again, he had a RBI double back in the 5th. Again, he has scored 3 runs, and that is his third hit. He's got 2 singles and a double. Here's Drew Earhart, the first baseman. The pitch by Rogers is low for a ball. Good block there by Hansen. No advance by the runner at first. Hansen keeping it in front of him and over to the left. It's ball 1 on Earhart. Earhart is 1 for 2, a walk, and 2 runs scored. Boy, way back in the first inning, which seems like it was yesterday, he had an RBI single. Again, that first inning was so long. Much longer for Florida Tech, which was on the good side. The pitch in the dirt, blocked by Hansen. Runner goes to second. He will make it. Good recovery by Hansen. Again, good block in the dirt. Got a pretty good throw down to second as Blackstone took the throw, and that was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. But looks like he did beat it, so that is another wild pitch, and Lala goes to second. Well, for Florida Tech pitching tonight, way too many wild pitches. I think that's their fourth or fifth. That is way too many for any 9-inning game. We're only in the sixth. Pitch on the outside corner for a strike, 2-1 on Drew Earhart. So this is Tampa's highest scoring inning of the game, a 4-run sixth. Rogers is set, checking the runner at second. 2-1 pitch is in for a called strike, and it's 2-2 on Drew Earhart. Earhart is out of Tampa, another local product out of Tampa, went to Wharton High. Well, most of the players for Joe Urso are out of Florida, and a lot of them are out of the Tampa area. The 2-2 pitch is in the dirt, 3-2. They have 35 players listed on their roster, and 26 are from Florida, and really a good batch of those are out of the Tampa area, or out of Lutz, or out of Valrico, or out of any of the suburbs that are adjacent to Tampa. 3-2 pitch. On the outside corner, in for a called strike three. I think Earhart is thinking, some of the time tonight, that's actually been called a ball, but that was called a strike by the home plate umpire, Kevin Flay. So recording a strikeout is Rogers. That is his second one. He struck out J.D. Urso swinging. That was the first batter that he faced in the fifth, so he gets his second here. Not out of the woods yet, but he does have 2 outs. And speaking of J.D. Urso, he is at the plate after striking out against Rogers in the last inning. The pitch in the dirt, nice block by Hansen. Well, in spring training, what does a catcher do? Well, he does a lot of things. He tries to throw out runners in practice, but there are going to be a lot of balls thrown in the dirt, and he's going to get a lot of blocking practice. And I'll tell you, Tate Hansen has gotten a lot of blocking practice tonight. The 1-0 is in for a called strike, and it's 1-1. Well, again, the tools of ignorance when you're a catcher. It's not a position for everybody, kind of like being a goaltender in hockey. Do you really want to be a goaltender in hockey? I mean, you might make $500,000 a year. That's not bad. That one is hit right back up the middle, right up the noggin of Rogers, but it somehow missed his head again, and it's a run-scoring single for J.D. Urso. I don't think that one was as close as the previous one of the inning to Rogers, but that was still a bit of a close shave. So Urso RBI single, his first RBI of the night, the third time he has been on base in 5 plate appearances. And that is the 5th run of the inning for Tampa, and they now lead it 15-8. The Panthers are getting some action up in their bullpen. Well, again, Harding started and went 4 innings. Galindo came in for 1/3 of an inning. It's been Rogers since, and Rogers might not be long for this game. The pitch is a high fly ball, deep right field, but he did not get enough. Under it is Patrick to make the catch. And the inning is over. So, again, baseball is a game of inches, and that was E.J. Cumbo just missing it by a fraction of an inch. And, again, he is a good home run hitter, but he skies it to Patrick and right. The inning is over. Tampa, well, again, they batted around in the first inning. See, they sent 9 batters to the plate, and what they do in this inning? They sent 9 batters to the plate again. So they send 9 batters to the plate. They score 5 runs on 4 hits. There was an error and a sacrifice mixed in. So a big 5 spot in the top of the 6th inning for Tampa. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Tampa 15 and Florida Tech 8. So we'll keep it out here. We'll take our usual break in the bottom half of the inning. Again, J.C. Miles with you, FloridaTechSports.com. Again, well, if you like a lot of runs, you have tuned into the correct ball game tonight. If you're a defensive coach, you're not very happy right now. Again, Florida Tech's committed 4 errors. I could look up, but it's going to be a long thing to look up. Maybe I can look it up real quick. Florida Tech, I don't think, has had too many 4-error games this year. I'm going to look back at my records here. I try and keep a record of every game and keep it as accurate as possible. So bear with me here as I flip back on my notes. Oh, there's a 4-error game against St. Leo back on March 4th. Let's see if there's another one. Oh, there's another one, February 25th against Lynn. Now, Florida Tech won that game 5-2. So that was a good outcome in that game. So looks like that is it as far as 4-error games. Oh, no, wait a minute. There's another one against Wingate. So it looks like this is their 4th 4-error game of the year. All right, let's check on the situation for Tampa as far as pitching. Is that still Linder out there? 21 has come in, so Linder is out. Boy, what a job by Linder. He came in relief in the first inning when Florida Tech scored their 8 runs, and he did a wonderful job. So I'll give you official numbers a little bit later as we're in the 6th inning, but he came in late in the first, so a third of an inning there. So unofficially for Linder, he went 4 1/3 innings in long relief and did not give up a run. All right, the Panthers batting here in the 6th. They got some work to do. They're down by 7, 15-8, and Jason Blackstone is leading off. And Jason's 2 for 3, including an RBI single, which was his second at bat in the first inning. The pitch is outside for a ball. So Garrett and Blackstone both had 2 hits in the first inning. Garrett led off with a hit. Blackstone had a hit, and then both batted later in the inning and both got 2 more singles. So they have 4 of the 14 Panther hits. The pitch is in for a called strike, and it's 1-1 on Blackstone. To be followed by Eldridge and Ford. So Panthers in a good spot in their lineup, 2, 3, and 4. If you're going to chip away at a 7-run deficit, this is the time to do it. Pitch outside, and Blackstone has worked the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, Jason, first year for Florida Tech, having a banner year. In fact, right now he has an 8-game hitting streak going and a 29-game reach base streak going. The pitch is in for a ball 4, and Blackstone has a walk. So Blackstone walks. That is his 18th walk of the year, and he leads the team in that category. So living up to his reputation there. So that'll bring up Alec Eldridge, the Panther first baseman. Alec is 1 for 3, singled during that 8-run first inning. So the Panthers don't need any home runs here. They just need base runners. They need singles, walks, whatever works. The pitch is outside for a ball. It's ball 1. I'm sorry, the number of the pitcher again? 21. Okay, 21's the new pitcher. I'm going to catch up here on that. Again, Linder is out of the game. Pitch is inside for a ball. I'll tell you, this game is going by so fast, it's hard to get everything in. Beckett White is in the game, 6 foot, 175-pound sophomore out of Gulfport, Mississippi, where they have been having some horrible weather lately. Poor Mississippi, poor Midwest, horrible weather in the Midwest and the Southeast, as Sam Militello, the longtime pitching coach, will come out for Tampa. And he's having, I think, is a diplomatic discussion with Beckett White. You know, I don't think Beckett White has pitched much this year. Let's check the numbers on him. Well, he's 1-0 with a 1.04 ERA, but this is only his 5th appearance against Tampa. Tampa's 24-7. This is their 32nd game. So, yeah, White is not a guy that's pitched a lot. His 5th appearance. He's allowed 4 hits in 8 2/3 innings. He's allowed 2 runs, 1 earned. He's walked 6, struck out 12. So he's got the strikeout to walk ratio going well in the 8.2 innings that he has worked. Opposing batters are batting just 138 against him. But again, the resume really isn't filled up for him. Just his 5th appearance of the year. And this is only his 9th inning of the year. The pitch to Eldridge is outside. It's 3-0. Well, you know, I think for Joe Urso, this is a good thing he's doing. Throw Beckett White out there. You've got a 7-run lead. See how he does and see if he can add to our already deep bullpen. The pitch is on the outside corner in for a strike, 3-1. And this bullpen is really good. I mean, again, got Brodsky, who has a save. Caney has a save. He's going to be one of the pitchers tomorrow. Nelson has 2 saves, and Dalton Ross has 3. There's a high pop-up. That's a Dave Kingman special, but that's a foul ball down the left side, and it's 3-2. So, again, Urso, he's got a lot of luxuries. You know what another luxury he has? He has a JV team on campus. How about that? He's not the only one in the conference, but Rollins has one as well in Florida Southern. 3-2 pitches, lifted down left field. Nice piece of hitting by Eldridge as he just lofts it into left field for a base hit. Stopping at second is Blackstone. So Eldridge has his second hit of the night. He is now 2 for 5. So the Panthers getting a walk out of Blackstone, and he moves up to second on the single to left by Eldridge, and that'll bring up Josh Ford. And Josh Ford does not want to go for the golden sombrero. He is 0 for 3, and he has struck out thrice. He is due for a hit. And he comes in batting 403. Oh, that almost hit him. Inside for a ball. It's ball 1. And you know what? Ford is the co-leader in getting hit the most, along with Kelly. They've been hit 7 times. Okay, at the stretch is White. Pitches low for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. So, again, Ford coming in, batting 403. He's trying to keep a 7-game hitting streak alive, and he's trying to keep a 21-game reach base streak alive. And, again, he has been alive of late. He's been one of the hotter Panther hitters, but kind of taking it on the chin tonight. The 2-0 is a little chopper up the third baseline. He might beat this out. Throw to first is in time. By a couple of steps. Ford, he's not the fastest runner. I thought maybe he beat it out, but not able to do so. He does remove the runners up to second and third, so nice play there by White, the pitcher. So Blackstone to third, Eldridge to second. Panthers have runners on second and third. 1 out, bottom to 6th. Again, they trail 15-8. And again, you can't get all these runs back at once. I know that's a cliche, but try and get 2 here on the base hit. Make it 15-10. That's what you got to do. The pitch is fouled off by Kelly. Kelly did have a 2 RBI single back in that 8-run first inning. He'd love to get another 2 RBI single here. Again, Kelly coming in just batting .233, but he does have a home run and 7 runs batted in. Check of the runner at second by White. Pitches to the dirt, gets away from the catcher, but not very far away from Gutcher. But it's a 1-1 count. So 1 ball and 1 strike on Brett Kelly. Cole Patrick on deck. Again, Blackstone on second, or Blackstone on third. Eldridge on second. The pitch is hit right back up the middle. That'll score a run. Throw to first is in time. Good range there by Saladino, who again normally plays short. He's playing second tonight. Looks like he's the kind of guy you just plug in anywhere and he'll make the play. So great range on that play. Blackstone was able to score from third. Wisely holding at second was Eldridge. Eldridge might have thought, well, I'll move over to third, but that could have been a play to third base if Eldridge decided to go, but he stayed at second, and he made the right decision there. There's a high pop-up. Dave Kingman continues to live. We hope he's doing well. High fly to left, caught, and the inning is over. So the first pitch hit by Patrick skies it out to left field to Lions, and the inning is over. So the Panthers have to settle for 1 run in the inning. They get 1 run, 1 hit, a walk, and 1 left. We have played 6 innings. Florida Tech trailing at Tampa 15-8. So we'll pause and be back. This is Panther Baseball at FloridaTechSports.com. All right, welcome back. We go to the top of the 7th inning. Florida Tech brings in their 4th pitcher. It is Aiden Beachy. So it was Mostly Harding, 4 innings. Galindo for less than an inning. Rogers for about 2 innings. And now Beachy comes in. So Aiden Beachy, let me do the rundown on him. 6'6", 225. Boy, you talk about size. This guy has got it. 6'6", 225, just a sophomore. So he's a young man, I think, still growing. Out of Venice, Florida. Now, Venice is a happening place, especially the downtown area. Much like Venice, Italy, and Venice in California as well. All right, let's talk about Beachy and what he has done. He's really not a guy that's pitched a lot. This is only his 6th appearance. Does not have a 1-loss record. 8.22 ERA. He's allowed 10 hits in 7 2/3 innings. He's given up 10 runs in 7 2/3 innings. 7 of the 10 earned. He's walked 2. He has struck out 7. He's given up 1 home run, and opponents are batting .286 against him. So again, Beachy out of Venice, Florida. Again, you got to clarify on the back end of which Venice it is. Venice, Florida. So top of the 7th inning, and again, we got a pinball machine on the scoreboard. Tampa actually has less hits than runs. 15 runs, 14 hits. They've committed 1 error. Florida Tech has actually out-hit Tampa 15-14, but they have 9 runs on the 15 hits. And again, the 4 errors really hurts the Panthers. You just cannot give this Tampa squad extra outs. So Florida Tech again has out-hit Tampa by 1, but they trail still by 6 as Anthony Nunez will lead off the top of the 7th inning. So again, Beachy on the hill, the 4th Panther pitcher. The pitch is way outside for a ball, and it's ball 1. So Beachy, pretty much fastball, curveball, slider pitcher. Throws an occasional changeup. And the pitch is in for a called strike. Nunez hasn't had a highlight kind of night, but you know what? He does have an RBI ground out. Grounded out to Eldridge unassisted. That produced a run in the 4th, and then he did walk and score in the 6th inning when Tampa had their biggest outing as far as runs, a 5-run 6th. Swung on and missed by Nunez, and it's 1-2. So again, for Tampa, they have scored in every inning but one. 3 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 3 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, and then the big 5 spot in the 6th. They did not score in the 3rd. Florida Tech in the last inning scored their first run since the 8-run 1st. Oh, beautiful change-up by Beachy. Boy, that might have been the Dwight Gooden Uncle Charlie from the mid-'80s. That was a beautiful pitch, and looking at it was Nunez. He goes down, so Beachy gets a strikeout. That is only the 5th time that Tampa struck out tonight amongst the 4 Panther pitchers. Here's Jamarcus Lyons, the left fielder. Jamarcus, a big 2-run homer in the 4th inning. That was only his 2nd of the year. The changeup in for a called strike, 0-1 on Lyons. Lyons has actually gotten on base 3 times, reached on an error in the 1st, 2-run homer in the 4th, singled and scored in the 6th. He has also scored 2 runs, and he's got the 2 RBIs on the 2-run homer. And that one is inside, almost hit Lyons. Again, Lyons playing left field, and again, he came up lame a little bit when he caught a long fly ball in foul territory up against the fence. It was a foul ball. Came up limping, but I guess he's overcome it. It looks like he's okay. I thought maybe he'd have to come out of the game. Pitch on the way is outside and low for a ball, and it's 2-1. In fact, that was the ball that was hit by Hansen in the 3rd inning. It was a long fly out up against the fence, but a foul ball to the left of the foul pole that was caught. That ball is sliced foul. That goes over to a very dark Rick Stotler soccer field. But let's see, women's lacrosse, they're going to be in action in about 13 and a half hours. They'll be playing St. Leo. I'll be there to do the PA on that one. And then back over here by 2 to do baseball. That one is fouled off by Lyons. Unfortunately, men's lacrosse, that's at 11. I'll have to miss that one, but I do get 2 out of the 3. So announcing-wise, I'll be batting .667 tomorrow. That's pretty good. Sometimes I go 3 for 3. It's amazing. If it's spread out right, I can do it all. I'll tell you, I got a great job out here. Great people to work with. The 2-2 pitch is outside for a ball, and it's 3-2 on Lions. So Beachy goes the limit here on Lions. On deck is my favorite name, Santiago Garavito. He should be an art major. I mean, that would fit in perfectly. Salvador Dali. Pitch is outside, ball 4, and good at bat by Lions, able to work out the full count walk against Beachy. So first walk allowed by Beachy, the 6th walk allowed by Panther pitching. That'll bring up Santiago Garavito. I'll try not to say his name too much, but again, that is a wonderful name. He's reached base twice, does not have a hit, but he's reached on an error and a walk. Just about everybody on Tampa has either a hit or has reached base. Pitch on the way is a foul ball, and that got a little bit of Hansen. He does the hop along Cassidy, but hopefully he's okay. So no balls and 1 strike. And just checking, every single Tampa player has gotten on either via a hit or a walk. In fact, a good part of the lineup has hits. Let's see, Nunez, he does not have a hit. And good gamesmanship by the home plate umpire, Kevin Flay, allowing Hansen to try and shake off. Looks like it got him on the ankle or the foot. So looks like Garavito and Nunez, they look like the only ones that have not gotten a hit in the Tampa lineup. Again, Tampa has 14 hits for the game. And that one is lined to short. Throw to first is in time. That is the second in the air double play that Florida's executed this year, and both were started by Garrett. The one earlier in the game went 6-4. That was a much shorter play for Garrett, throwing it to second. That one, the long throw to first, and doubling off Lions at first base. So for Florida Tech, that is their 22nd double play and their second in the air tonight. Reminds me of that Phil Collins song, In the Air. So no scoring for Tampa. This is only the second inning that Tampa has not scored a run in tonight. So 7th inning stretch time inside the Olin Complex here at Andy Seminick Les Hall Field. It is Florida Tech trailing at the Tampa by the score of 15-8. Again, J.C. Miles with you, FloridaTechSports.com. I want to mention Panther softball. Now, I don't know how they did in the second game today, but they lost the first game 11-7. But the game I want to talk about is yesterday for Panther softball. Kind of a strange game. Florida Tech lost the game to Tampa 5-1. Now, it was strange in a good way. Allison Playton, who's really had a wonderful year in the pitcher circle for softball, she gave up 5 runs in the bottom of the first inning. But you know what she did after that? She did not allow a hit for the next 5 innings, and she only allowed 1 base runner, and it was on a walk. So after a very rocky bottom of the first inning by Playton, she retired 15 of the 16 Tampa batters. And, as you might guess, Tampa did not score after the first inning. But you know what? Florida Tech, they didn't have their hitting shoes on. They only got 1 run, and Tampa won the game 5-1. But I'll tell you, Allison Playton, what a year she has had. And, you give up 5 in the first inning to a great hitting Tampa softball hitting team, and then you retire 15 of 16. So I think Allison, in her thoughts, should remember that rather than the 5 runs that she gave up. I mean, that can happen to anybody, but, some kudos there for Playton. Pitch miss for a ball 1 to Sam Schnarr, who leads off in the bottom of the 7th inning. Again, Florida Tech trailing at 15-9. Pitch is in for a called strike. Now, the challenge for Florida Tech is not only trying to recover from a 6-run deficit, but can they shut down Tampa the next 2 innings? I mean, they can't allow any more runs. Can they score 6? I mean, they might be able to do it. That one is hit up the middle. It goes off with the glove of White. Throw to first will not be in time. That would have been a 1-2-3 if the out would have been recorded at first, because it went off of White, but it conveniently bounced to Gutcher. But they were not able to get Schnarr at first base. That'll be an infield hit. That was a kind of a shot that White was able to get his hand on, but not able to field it. But that's an infield hit for Schnarr. And Schnarr now has 2 hits. Here's Tate Hansen, the catcher. The pitch is high, a fastball, ball 1 delivered by White. Hansen is 1 for 3. He singled back in the first inning. So for the Panthers, that was their 16th hit, but they're trailing by 6. The pitch is hit in the hole. That'll be a base hit. That just gets by Urso, the shortstop. That was a bleeder into left field, but it did make the grass in the outfield. Stopping at second is Schnarr, and on with his second hit is Hansen. So Schnarr standing on second is 2 for 4, and Hansen standing on first is 2 for 4, both with singles. Now bring up Gavin McGowan, the Panther third baseman, and McGowan says the heck with a single. He has hit 2 doubles tonight, including a run-scoring 2 RBI double in that 8-run first inning. The pitch on the way by White is a fastball high and tight to McGowan, ball 1. McGowan also reached on an error in the 6th inning, so he's been on base 3 times, again 2 via the double. So he's got 2 RBIs, 2 doubles, and a run scored. White, a check of the runner at second. The pitch is inside for a ball. It's 2 balls and no strikes. And I don't have a great look at the Tampa bullpen. I don't see anybody. Oh, wait a minute. There's a red shirt appearing in my view. They might be stirring up some action in that Tampa bullpen. Pitch is in for a called strike. You know, I don't want to be sarcastic when I say this, but I think Joe Urso probably has about 8 or 9 relievers who are all very good or good. And one of those is probably getting up right now. The 2-1 pitch. High fly ball, right center field. Lining it up is Cumbo. Runner tagged at second. That's Schnarr. He's just going to draw the throw, and he goes back to first base. Ball caught by Cumbo in pretty deep right field, but Schnarr not going anywhere. When you're down by 7, you cannot, or down by 6, you can't be thrown out of the bases. So again, Schnarr on second, Hansen on first. We got 1 out after the fly ball to right field by McGowan. We go to the top of the Panther batting order. The Panther shortstop, Gabe Garrett, who has been on base 3 times tonight, 2 singles. One of them in the first inning. He eventually scored a run there. Pitch on the way is a fastball inside corner in for a called strike to Garrett. Strike 1 on Gabe, who was followed by Jason Blackstone in the Panther batting order. So there's 1 out in the inning, and the Panthers have the top of the order here. If they're going to do damage, they have to do it now. Check of the runner at second by White. The 0-1 pitch is a breaking ball, a good one, but it's outside, a little bit too good, and it's 1-1 on Garrett. Wisely, the first baseman, Earhart, is playing off the bag at first. There's a ground ball in the hole, base hit, and they're going to try and score the run, and they will score. Quintero waves in the Panther base runner, Schnarr. He scores. RBI single by Garrett, and the Panthers break into double digits. It is 15-10. Well, I'll tell you, Quintero, who's been coaching third all year, had to be confident that Schnarr would score, because I'll tell you, when you're down by 6, you got to make sure you're not going to be thrown out at the plate. But Schnarr scored easily. Moving to second, Hansen, and here comes Joe Urso, and I think Joe Urso is going to pull the plug on White, and we're going to get a new pitcher here. You know, again, he's like most coaches. When he goes out, the pitcher is going to be taken out, and he is going to take him out. When the pitching coach goes out there, it's just for a social call. So we will have a new Tampa pitcher, as Tampa having a summit on the pitcher's mound. Home plate umpire Kevin Flay being very patient as we are awaiting the Tampa pitcher. And Flay is going to go out to the mound now to try and speed things up. Again, I think Urso did make the sign, and he kind of gave the pat on the back to White. Well, let's see what happens here. Yeah, the new pitcher's coming in. He's just he's a little bit in a delay. Well, we won't call him the human rain delay like Bob Costas called Mike Hargrove in the 80s when Hargrove was actually a player for the Indians. Bob Costas called him the human rain delay. You know, Mike Hargrove, he was a really good baseball player, and he might have been even a better manager. But when he played, he would not have been able to play in the Rob Manfred era, because he would step out of the box for about 10 or 15 seconds, adjust the batting gloves, get all ready to go, and then he'd get back in, and he would not have survived. Rob Manfred would have called a couple balls on him, or at least the pitcher would have. But anyway, the new pitcher is coming in. We'll try and pick up the number here in a minute. It's a very tall individual with a lot of shaggy hair on his neck. 33, I think that is. Yeah, I think it's 33. We'll go with double threes. So 33 is Dalton Ross, a very good reliever. 6'4", 210, a senior out of Statesboro, Georgia. He's a transfer from Little Bryant College, an NAIA school in Pulaski, Tennessee. So a little bit background there on Dalton Ross. Now the numbers for Ross are pretty good. 1-1 record. ERA a little bit high for a reliever, 3.72, but he's doing something right because this is his 14th appearance, and that's the most on the staff. He's allowed 16 hits in 19 1/3 innings. He also has 3 saves to lead the team out of the bullpen. So he has been the closer. Braden Nelson has been the closer. And even Alex Canny, who's expecting to start on the mound tomorrow, has been a closer. He's got 1 save as well. But it's been mostly Ross and Nelson who have kind of shared the closing duties. So Ross coming in maybe a little bit early, the 7th inning, but trying to stem the tide. Maybe trying to get Braden Nelson in later if Florida Tech rallies here. So again, Dalton Ross, 1-1, 3.72 ERA, 16 hits allowed in 19 1/3 innings. He's given up 9 runs, 8 earned. He has walked 5, struck out 15, so 3-1 strikeout to walk ratio. That definitely works. He's only given up a homer in 19 1/3 innings, and opposing batters are batting .225 against him. So again, Dalton Ross, the new pitcher. So Jason Blackstone will be the first batter for Ross. Again, the Panthers have runners on first and second, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th, 1 run in, trailing 15-10 as Blackstone takes a pitch in for a called strike, and it's 0-1 on Jason. Again, Jason, he is 2 for 3 and a walk, RBI single in the 2nd, a walk and a run scored in the 7th. He has scored 2 runs total. Pitch on the way is a chopper foul. So Dalton Ross, a little side armor action. Bringing back memories maybe of Kent DeColvey of the 70s Pirates. Maybe a little Cecil Upshaw. Cecil Upshaw, actually, he was more of a submariner. So Ross kind of comes from the side. I wouldn't call him a true submariner, though, but he has a different, kind of a funky look to his delivery. Look at that. Yeah. Swung on and missed. And Blackstone not able to figure him out. He strikes out on 3 pitches. So good job by Ross. Probably something he wanted to do. Strike out the first batter. So Blackstone is done. First strikeout, obviously, for Ross. That is the 4th time that a Panther player has struck out tonight. And that'll bring up Alec Eldridge, the Panther first baseman, pitching for a called strike, 0-1 on Eldridge. Alex had a good night. He's 2 for 4, 2 singles, and a run scored. So, again, we got Hansen on second. We got Garrett on first. Pitch taken in for a ball, 1-1 on Alec Eldridge. Eldridge comes in, batting .301 with no homers, 28 RBIs. Came in as the leading RBI person with 28. He'd love to get 29 here. 1-1 pitch is foul, is actually tipped back into the glove of the catcher Gutcher, and it's a 1-2. So, again, Alec leads the team at RBIs with 28 and doubles with 11. A double here would do nicely, maybe drive in 2 runs. Oh, he swings and misses. Boy, Dalton Ross has some nasty stuff, and he's got some long hair to boot. So the Panthers, hoping for a big inning. They get 1, but they still trail by 5. So Ross comes in, faces 2 batters, and pretty much blows away Blackstone and Eldridge. So the Panthers do get 1 run on 2 hits, but nothing more. We've played 7. And again, we got a pinball machine. This is a typical Division II college game when you have a lot of high scoring. There have been a lot of 15-10 games in Division II history, and this is one of them. So 15-10, Florida Tech at the end of 7. So we'll pause and be back. This is Panther Baseball, FloridaTechSports.com. All right, we're back here at Florida Tech, Andy Semenuk Les Hall Field, inside the Olin Complex. J.C. Miles with you, FloridaTechSports.com. You know, it's a bit of a windy night, but I'll tell you, before the game started, pregame, you know, I felt like I was either in Wrigley Field or the now demolished Candlestick Park in San Francisco because the wind was just whipping up like a flurry. Right now, I mean, 5 to 7 miles per hour, but manageable. But pregame, it was really whipping out here. Well, Tampa leads it 15-10 as we go to the top of the 8th inning for Tampa. 15 runs, 14 hits, 1 error. Florida Tech, 10 runs, 18 hits, and 4 errors. Boy, can you imagine Florida Tech if they end up with 18 or more hits, losing the game? That'd be a little bit frustrating. But I've got something to add to that here as the pitch is low for a ball. Ball 1. How would you like to be Tampa the other night against Valdosta State? Tampa had 21 hits, and they lost the game. They lost it in 11 innings to Valdosta State, 15-14. 21 hits, and you lose the game. The 1-0 pitch by Beachy is a changeup that got away from him outside 1-1. I'll tell you, I had a great chat with Joe Urso for about 5 minutes. Great guy, and I'm going to have to ask him tomorrow, and he'd rather forget about the Valdosta State game, but I'm going to ask him, Joe, you've coached a lot of games here in 23 years. Ever have 21 hits and lose? And he's probably going to say no. Pitch is outside for a ball, 2-1. I mean, Valdosta State got 16 hits, which wasn't bad. But that was probably, about a 3.5-hour trip, Tampa to Valdosta State, something like that. And that was a long bus ride home. But Tampa hasn't had too many of those over the years. Pitch in for a called strike. Again, 5 national championships. Numerous appearances in the World Series, national runner-up 2003. Joe Urso, national championship as a player, and then much more as a coach. Of course, he can coach a lot longer than he can play, but one championship as a player, certainly very good. Pitch is high for a ball, so that'll be a 5-pitch walk. And Tampa has their opening base runner. That was Saladino. So Saladino walks. That is the 7th walk allowed by Panther pitching. That is the 2nd walk allowed by Beachy. There's Danny Gutcher, the catcher. Will Danny be sacrificing here? He is the number 9 hitter. Let's see what he does. No, he's going to swing away. The heck with sacrificing. We're up by 5. And the pitch is high for a ball, ball 1. Gutcher did put down a nice sacrifice bunt, 1-3 in the 6th inning. Let's see if he's sacrificing here. He's probably thinking, you know what, I don't want to bunt. If we're down by 1, I might bunt in the 8th inning, but let me swing away here. So no indication of bunt. And he's swinging away, and he swings and misses. It's 1-1 on Danny Gutcher, he is 1 for 2, a walk and a sack. This will be his 5th plate appearance. I could say that without a doubt. 1-1 pitch is a high chopper foul. That'll do the kangaroo hop over the Tampa dugout and out of the park. So 1 ball and 2 strikes on Danny Gutcher, and then the lineup flips, and then you got Jordan Lala to deal with. Again, the runner at first is Saladino after walking to lead off the inning. Eldridge holding him on. It'll be a 1-2 by Beachy to Gutcher. There's a high pop-up, but that one is foul, straight back, and out of play, 1-2 count on Danny Gutcher. Again, Danny out of Tampa, Gaither High School, one of the high schools over there in Tampa. But you know what? He's also a transfer from Eckerd, so he came from the other side of the bridge and came over to Tampa. Oh, pitch in the dirt. That'll be another wild pitch. Beachy with his first of the night, and that'll move the runner, Saladino, up to second. I don't know why the name of that bridge went out of my mind, but it just came back in. The Howard Franklin Bridge, which connects Tampa to St. Petersburg. I've been on that bridge a lot in my life. And at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and 8 o'clock in the morning, that is the bridge you do not want to be on. That hasn't caught me too much over the many years I've been going over there to see my good college friends and go to Rays games, but a couple of times I've been caught. The Howard Franklin Bridge. The 2-2 pitch. Oh, it hit him. Oh, it's amazing. Pearl Bailey is crying down from heaven from the 69 Mets. So Gutcher goes down to first base. You know, again, what the heck am I talking about? In the '69 World Series, the great late singer Pearl Bailey sitting in the stands. Whenever a Met player got hit by a pitch, he said, "Oh, it hit him? Amazing. Amazing." The '69 Amazing Mets, never to be forgotten. So Gutcher is hit, whether he likes it or not. Back to the top of the batting order, Jordan Lala. I think that's the first hit batter that Tampa's gotten tonight on their offense. All right, runners first and second, nobody out, so Beachy in a bit of a pickle here. And showing bunt, but not offering at it, evidently, was Lala, ball one. For Lala, this is his sixth plate appearance. He did hit into a 6-4 in the air double play, but otherwise he has walked, he has singled, he has doubled, and he has singled. Well, he's halfway to the cycle, no matter how you want to slice it. Ball one pitch coming up from Beachy to Lala. And the pitch is just a bit outside. It's 2-0. So, for Lala, 2 singles, a double, a walk, 3 runs scored, 3 RBIs, and I don't want to forget about the stolen base in the first, which is really a long time ago. Beachy, a check of the runner at second, 2-0, is off the outside corner, and it's 3-0. Now, speaking of the time, we are coming up on 3 hours, and we're in the top of the 8th. So we're going to have probably close to about a 3.5-hour game. Well, Joe Urso up at Valdosta State with his team had a 4-hour and 18-minute game this past Tuesday, and there's a walk to Lala. So Lala has been on base 5 times tonight, second time via the walk. So third walk allowed by Beachy, and that is the 8th walk allowed by Panther pitching. And Alex Carpenter, who knows a little bit about pitching, who had a wonderful senior year last year and is now on Jeff Tam's coaching staff. He'll go out to the mound to have a chat with Beachy, who was who was not his teammate last year. Beachy was not on the team last year. But Carpenter was, and he was amongst the leaders in saves in the Sunshine State Conference. He had 6, 2-2 record, and a sparkling 1.44 ERA. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're a reliever, you want to close out your relieving career with a 1.44 ERA. Not as good as Bob Gibson at 1.12 in 1968, but pretty good. All right, so Carpenter, that was a pretty quick visit. That lasted maybe about 10 seconds, and he goes back to the dugout. So, we've had a walk to Saladino. We've had a hit batter to Gutcher. We've got Lala walking, and Tampa has the bases loaded, nobody out, and they're up 15-10 here in the 8th. And here's Drew Earhart, the first baseman. He has walked, and he has singled in a run. So a tough spot for Beachy. Pitch is in for a ball. It's ball one. The Panther middle of the infield, they're just going to play back. I mean, you know what? They could play in. I mean, you're down by 5, but they're going to play back and hope maybe just 1 run scores in this inning. Panthers still have the 8th and the 9th to try and get some more offense going. The pitch is a ball. Wow, that might have been an Angel Hernandez call. That seemed like it was right over the plate. By the way, the Mets spring training game I went to, guess who was behind the home plate calling strikes? It was the one and only Angel Hernandez. That was the Mets-Astros game I went to 3 weeks ago. Had a good time there, even though the Mets lost, but it was spring training. Pitch is inside for a ball. I mean, if you're a Met fan, you're glad to get out of Milwaukee, where the Brewers outscored the Mets 19-0 in the first 2 games. The Mets did lose the third game 7-6, but they did win today against those pesky Miami Marlins, 9-3. Alonso and Lindor, back-to-back homers. That's the way to do it. 3-0 pitch is inside, and Beachy walks in a run. So the merry-go-round will start. Hopefully it will end pretty soon. So that is 3 walks in the inning by Beachy. That is the 9th time that Tampa's walked tonight. So scoring, Saladino, it is now 16-10. To third base, Gutcher. To second base, Lala. And with the RBI walk is Earhart. So the bases remain loaded, nobody out. And this is one of the guys you don't want to face, J.D. Urso. The pitch is on the inside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. Well, I hate to bring this up, but J.D. Urso had a grand slam home run last year in amongst the three-game series. Pitch on the way is in for a called strike. Let's see, Urso. He had a pair of three-run homers. You know what? Maybe it was Cumbo who hit the grand slam. I'll have to double-check my notes here in a minute. There was a grand slam, though, home run that was hit by one of the Spartans in the series last year. The strike two pitch is fouled off and out of play. Let's see. Cumbo had a three-run homer last year. You know what? It was Cumbo. Cumbo was the guy who had a grand slam homer, and that was in the 17-2 loss that Jeff Tam has totally forgotten about from last year. It'll be a two-strike pitch coming up. That is a severe hook shot. That is foul over toward Panther Field, which is in total darkness. The count is 2 strikes. 2 strikes on J.D. Urso, who's had a pretty good ball game. 2 singles and a walk, 2 runs scored. The single in the 6th inning produced a run. So bases loaded, nobody out, but Beachy does have a 2-strike count on Urso. The pitch is inside. Oh, they might have gotten him. Actually, wait a minute. That's not Urso. That's number 40. As Jose Cadenas. So Cadenas is the one that evidently he gets hit by the pitch, and he gets an RBI. So I guess Urso's out of the game. So we got to keep up with changes that might be happening here as Coach Tam is coming out, and I think we're getting another new Panther pitcher. So we'll check on that here in a moment. So Cadenas will get he gets hit by the pitch and gets a RBI. You know, not to be critical of the home plate umpire, but, you know, maybe you should signal there's a pinch hitter. That would help us up here, and he didn't do it. So I'm sure Kevin Flay's an upstanding guy, but he does signal the pitching changes, which is good, but we could pick that up pretty easily. Let's see, what number is that? 19? Okay. So Coach Tam, like Coach Urso's, had to tap into the bullpen a bit, so so that's 19? Oh, wait, 40. Oh, pitching, yeah. 40 is coming in. I love doing 2-1 games, folks. This one is 17-10. Tampa and Florida Tech are not playing football. All right, so 40 is pitching, and that is It's Andrew Dunham, of course, 6'5", 230 senior out of Ocoee. Went to Windermere High School, which is adjacent to Ocoee. So Andrew Dunham is pitching, and Andrew Dunham has a 0 ERA and a 0-0 record. That's the good news. Now, this is only his second appearance, so it's a little skewed, folks. Dunham has pitched 1 inning all year. He's allowed 2 hits. No runs, no walks. He has struck out 2. So, doesn't say here in the stats how many batters he has faced, but he's only pitched 1 inning, and he has struck out 2 of the batters that he has faced, and he's allowed 2 hits. So the resume is far from complete for Andrew Dunham. Again, out of Ocoee. Well, we're at 3 hours and 4 minutes. Again, I mentioned the Valdosta State game for Tampa Tuesday night was 4 hours and 18 minutes. And again, that was a long 4 hours and 18 minutes for Tampa. It was much shorter for Valdosta State because they won the game in 11 innings, 12-11. You know, that was a game that Tampa jumped out to a 5-0 lead in the top of the first, but Valdosta State was able to not give up, and they actually used a 6-run seventh to get back in the game. It went to 11 innings, and Valdosta State being the home team, that was definitely an advantage, and they won the game. All right, double-checking. This is still E.J. Cumbo because it could be pinch-hitting itis pretty soon for Tampa, as Joe Urso might clear the bench, but He'll keep Cumbo in, and that one is very high and tight, ball one. Well, this will be tough for Florida Tech. They're down 17-10 in the 8th inning, and Tampa's got the bases loaded and nobody out. So life goes from bad to worse pretty quickly. The pitch is high and outside, ball two, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. You know, again, Tampa losing to Valdosta State 12-11, and you lose when you have 21 hits. My goodness. Oh, we got a hit batter. And Cumbo dancing around like a top. Not very happy. It looks like, well, he's kind of limping a little bit. Hopping up and down. Well, anyway. As back-to-back hit batsmen. And that produces an RBI. Painful it is for Cumbo, who hopefully is okay. Because Tampa's having a really good season, and they're going to make the postseason, I would think, unless they utterly collapse, which I don't think they will. All right, double checking. This is Anthony Nunez. Just want to double check. Nunez will take a pitch outside. Oh, I think that might have hit the mask of the umpire. Ouch. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Well, Nunez is one of the few Tampa players, along with Garavito, who does not have a hit tonight. He does have an RBI ground out, unassisted to first. He has walked, and he has scored a run, but does not have a hit yet. And he almost gets hit by that pitch. I'll tell you, 3 hit batters in a row, that would be chaos for Florida Tech. And we don't want to talk about chaos because we don't have the cones of silence out here. The 2-0 pitch is outside for a ball. Referencing Get Smart from the 60s. Of course, you always had the portable cones of silence. My older listeners would remember Get Smart. 3-0 the count. And the pitch in for a called strike. So again, Dunham, his second appearance, has not walked anybody yet, and he hopes not to here. The count is 3-1. Bases loaded, nobody out, and the pitch is on the outside corner in for a strike. Oh, Nunez really wanted to throw the bat away and get the bases loaded RBI walk, but not so fast. 3-2 the count. Dunham working very quickly. Rob Manfred would be proud. The pitch is inside, ball 4. It's another walk and another run. So, RBI walk, Nunez. That is the 4th run of the inning. Let's reset the base runners. Cadenas is on 3rd. Cumbo is on 2nd. And Nunez is on 1st. There's still nobody out. And the pitch is way outside. And another run comes in. That'll be a wild pitch. My goodness. Mama said there would be days like this. Again, remember the Mets were outscored 19-0 over by the Brewers in 2 games. That was a series they want to forget. And this might be a game Florida Tech wants to forget. And the fact was they were up 8-3 at the end of 1, but that's a long-distance memory. Okay, Cadenas scored on that play. 5th run of the inning, 20-10. Pitch is outside for a ball. 20 runs on only 14 hits. Way too many wild pitches. That might be about the 7th or 8th one. The pitch is in for a called strike. No action in the Panther bullpen. I think Tam is saying, Dunham, look, I've used up enough pitching tonight. We got a doubleheader tomorrow. I've got to save some arms. The 2-1 pitch is in for a called strike. This is called in baseball keeping up with the arms race. You don't want to use too many of the arms. All right, Dunham does work very quickly, I'll tell you that. The 2-2 pitch is sliced foul over to the right to Rick Stoller Soccer Field. So, yeah, right now we're about 3 hours and 10 minutes into this one. Again, that's a quick turnaround tomorrow. We got the 2 lacrosse teams playing, but baseball doesn't play till 2, so these 2 teams will be able to sleep in a little bit. Pitch is in for a ball, and it's 2-2. The umpires and the crowd saying, can we see some strikes here? That looked pretty good. Maybe a little high. The 3-2. Oh, I think it hit him again. Oh, Pearl Bailey is just crying up in heaven. She is crying so loud. She was so great in the 50s and 60s. And great at the 69 Mets being in the stands. All right, we got a pinch hitter coming up just to try and keep active out here.
Did they score?
Yes, they did. Another bases loaded walk. Adam Hunt is going to pinch hit. He's out of a suburb of Tampa, the great town of Brandon, where there's a Smoky Bones I've been to. The pitch is in for a called strike right off of 60, I believe, in Brandon. So that's where Hunt is from. So Hunt is pinch hitting for Garavito. And that one is hit to Dunham. Throw home. Throw to first. That is the 1-2-3 double play. Oh, we've been trying to order that from the doctor for the last 15 minutes. I'll tell you, when it's the bases loaded and nobody out, that is what you want as a pitcher. Maybe a strikeout, but better yet, how about a 1-2-3 double play? Well, if there's good news for Florida Tech, that is the third double play that they have turned tonight. It's the first ground ball double play they have turned tonight. The pitch is in for a called strike, 0-1. The two others were both in the air, 6-4 and 6-3. And the pitch is swung on and missed. We're going to double check the score. Did two more runs sneak in lately? I think it's 20-10, but we don't want to give Tampa any more runs. And Tampa can't carry any runs into tomorrow. That's the one good thing about baseball. Pitch in for a call for a ball.
No, 19 was out. Okay. Yeah.
That was a 1-2-3 double play. So, yeah, the runner was at the plate, correct. So it is 20-10, which is better than 22-10. Pitch missed for a ball.
But how many hits? Sorry, 2 and 2. 14-18.
The count is 2-2. Scoreboard's currently taking a nap. There's a high pop-up foul left side. Well, again, I've been out here 18 years. This brings back a memory. Let me tell you about the memory. So I think it was my second year calling games out here. St. Leo beat Florida Tech 26-6.
Oh, wow.
I remember that game. Pitch is inside for a ball. That's when I was set up on the first base side. And I think the Panther dugout got annoyed that I was too loud. And then I went to the third base side, and now I'm up here behind home plate. And former manager Greg Berkemeyer, who was a good guy and everything, but I think he probably asked to have me moved, which I don't mind. Pitch is in for a call, strike 3. Oh, the batter thought he had a walk, but he did not, and the inning is thankfully over. So that was a 7-run inning? Okay, 5-run inning. Okay. So it's a 5-run inning. Tampa has scored in every inning but the third and the 7th. So we'll just say we're going to the bottom of the 8th inning, and it is 20-10 in favor of Tampa. Again, J.C. Miles with you, FloridaTechSports.com. Okay, this is a good time to pull out my baseball quotes. You know, God bless one of my best friends in the whole world, Tom Herrera from Wagon Mound, New Mexico, 3.5 hours north of Albuquerque, population about 500. He sent me some updated baseball quotes. He sent me baseball quotes about 8 or 9 years ago. I've been using them every year that I've been out here, but he sent me some fresh ones. So let me get a few of these in. Again, these are brand new. Here's one. I don't put any foreign substances on the baseball. Everything I use from the good old U.S. of A. George Frazier, Major League pitcher, 1978 to 1987. George Frazier, he pitched for the Yankees. Might have pitched for some other teams. All right, here's a really good one from one of the great flamboyant artists of all time. You could show up on What's My Line wearing your mask and your chest protector, and you could have an indicator in your hand, and nobody would ever mistake you for an umpire. Now, who do you think said that? Somebody that doesn't like umpires. No, it wasn't Billy Martin. No, it wasn't Tommy Lasorda. It was the one and only Earl Weaver from those great Oriole teams in the 60s and 70s. Earl Weaver, I don't think he ever sent a Christmas card to an umpire. So, who was that one umpire he really disliked? He was one of the real characters of the game. I'll think of his name in a minute. Let me get into a few more here. I'll tell you, Earl Weaver had a really good catcher in Elrod Hendricks, and this next quote comes from Elrod, who played on on all those great Oriole teams in the late 60s, early 70s. You know Earl, he's not happy until he's not happy. That was Elrod Hendricks talking about Earl Weaver. All right, one more. A sign at a 1987 World Series game. You might remember that if you're old enough like me. That was Cardinals and Twins. Referring to Twins first baseman Ken Herbeck and the TV game show Wheel of Fortune, hey, Herbeck, will you buy a vowel? Oh, thank you, Tom Herrera. I'm feeling really good, even though Florida Tech is down 20-10. What happened to the scoreboard? It exploded. There's a high pop-up. Dave Kingman, you are back on the broadcast. There's a high pop-up. I think that's Earhart still playing first. We'll double-check. He makes the catch. Is that number 9? Oh, no, that's 0. That's, oh, boy. You know, I think that might be Lyons playing first base. It looks like it's number 0. Anyway, the out is recorded. There have been numerous changes in this game we haven't been able to pick up. All right, pitch in for a called strike, so we got 1 out in the inning. And again, it's 20-10. The scoreboard has gone kerplunk. The pitch on the way is a long fly ball. That one is gone. Mr. Brett Kelly has left the building. That ball is still going out near where I parked my car in the grassy parking lot in left field. That was a shot. Unfortunately, it came with nobody on base, but it does cut the lead in half. It's 22-11. So Brett Kelly goes yard. So he has 3 hits, 2 singles, and a solo home run. That'll bring up Cole Patrick, the right fielder. Again, we got to look for pinch hitters on Florida Tech side, but this is Patrick. And the pitch on the way is a foul ball over the right. Let me see who the pitcher is. That's a lefty. 17 is in. Again, we're trying to catch up on a lot of things here. Michael Diemo, 6'2", 195, senior out of Orlando, Timber Creek High School, and Palm Beach State College. Pitch in for a called strike. So Michael Domo is actually how it's pronounced. That one is hit to second. Trying to beat it out is Patrick. Hot potato, get the sour cream out. Let's see if that's an error. That is an error. Okay. So Patrick reaches on an error. That ball might have had a little bit of English on it. It was kind of a strange hit ball, not hit very hard, and might have had a little bit of backspin. And I think that Saladino's still playing second. Again, he's a guy who usually plays short, but he's actually looked really good at second tonight. Schneier takes a pitch inside for a ball. It's ball 1. So no pitch hitters in the immediate future for Jeff Tam because Hansen is on deck and Schneer's at the plate. And the pitch misses for a ball. Schneier, he's had a pretty decent game. He's got 2 singles and 2 runs scored. Pitched on the pickoff attempt, and the runner gets back. So let's see. Florida Tech has 11 runs, and they might have about 19 hits. I mean, they're getting close to 20. Is it 19 hits? Okay. Boy, 11 runs, 19 hits, and you're losing the game. That is frustrating. Pitch in for a called strike. But just as frustrating for Joe Urso. Again, 21 hits for his team against Valdosta State. They lost the game. So baseball's a funny game. Joe Garagiola wrote that book in the 60s. There's a ground ball at the second. This could be 2. They go to short for 1, on to first. Yes. That is a 4 to 6 to 3 double play. That is the first double play tonight that Florida Tech has hit into, and the inning is over. The Panthers do get 1 run on the solo homer by Brett Kelly. For Kelly, by the way, that was his 2nd home run of the season, and it was his 8th RBI. So 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and nobody left on base. We have played 8 innings, It is 22-11 in favor of Tampa. So we'll pause and be back. This is Panther Baseball at FloridaTechSports.com. All right, welcome back. Right now we're about 3 hours and 21 minutes into this one, and we're not quite done, but we do go to the top of the ninth inning. Again, the scoreboard is taking a nap, and it's gone away from us, but it is 20-11, Florida Tech, and the Panthers evidently do have 19 hits. So for Florida Tech, 11 runs on 19 hits. They have still out-hit Tampa, but Tampa has outscored them 20-11. Let's see. Do we have a pinch hitter? Ryan, 43. That sounds like a new number. Ryan Middleman. Oh, out of Valencia, California. I know where that is, right off Interstate 5. South of Bakersfield, where he lived for about 6 years. A lot of good high school football in that area. Canyon High, Valencia, Saugus. And the pitch by Dunham, who's in for another inning. I'll tell you, his arm is active. It's ball one. Yeah, Valencia, California. That's about 40 miles from L.A., depending on traffic. Ball's fouled off and out of play. We got something going on in the Panther bullpen. Looks like just a couple of people are sitting out there, so no action. Players milling around, soaking in the ambiance of the bullpen. The pitch is swung on and missed. Well, I got a interesting baseball story. Joe Pignatano was the bullpen coach for the Mets in the 70s. You know what he did in the bullpen? He grew a tomato garden. I'm serious. Swung on and missed. So there have always been interesting things going on in the bullpen. You know, sunflower seed contests. And, you know, in the 70s Mets, Joe Pignatano had that tomato garden going. And just trying to keep the listenership here in this 20-11 game. That's the one thing about baseball. There are so many stories to tell, and you usually don't have a lot of time to tell them. I think we got a new batter. T.J. Palma, number 30, is batting. Palma fouls it off and out of play. Let's talk about T.J. Oh, my goodness, Pleasantville, New York, about 20 minutes from Dobbs Ferry, where I grew up. Transfer from Iona Prep. So T.J. Palma, he knows where Dobbs Ferry is. That ball's fouled off and out of play. You know, early 70s, the New York football Giants used to train in Pleasantville. I remember going out to a couple of their practices as about a 12-year-old kid with my brother way back in the day. Again, Andrew Dunham pitching for Florida Tech in his second inning of work. He's doesn't have a natural windup. There's a fly ball, deep right center field, but this will stay in the park. Schnare is there. He makes the catch. So Palma is retired. Didn't get the chance to tell you that Palma was batting .250 for the year. He's now 4 for 14 on the year. Oh, my goodness. What a name is coming up here, folks. The guy with two last names, McAllister Jorgensen, out of the town of Brandon. There's another Brandonite again. I bet he's been to that Smoky Bones off of Interstate 60. The pitch is, wow, where was that? That was called a ball. I think Angel Hernandez has shown up again. Ball one. Oh, boy, folks. I'll tell you, 2011. Pitch in for a called strike. I don't know what Vince Scully's thoughts in all the years he did the Dodgers, and he did the Dodgers for 67 years, but he was probably a guy that enjoyed 2-1 games more than 20-11. He was so good in dissecting the game. It's hard to dissect a 20-11 game. We had so much going on. Oh, looks like the scoreboard is back. Is that correct? It's not 20-14 though. It's 20-11, I think. Okay. Yeah. And I think that might have hit him. No, I guess it didn't. Almost. That would be casi in Spanish. 2-1 the count. Not casa, but casi. So 2-1 the count on McAllister Jorgensen. Boy, what a name that is. Swung on and missed. McAllister Jorgensen. You know, Middleman, who just batted, he was 0 for 3 on the year, and Jorgensen is, where is it here? He's 1 for 9. He's still 1 for 9. He walks, so that's a plate appearance, but not a at-bat. So you know what? McAllister Jorgensen, yeah, he's batting 1 for 9, 0.91. His average should not go up or down, though, on that walk. Let's see who's batting here. Is that 19? We'll double check. Again, we're in the land of pinch hitters. Oh, close shave. Inside for a ball. 40 is up. Okay. Jose Cadenas, second time up at the plate. He is in Urso spot, number 3 in the batting order. He got hit by a pitch in the 8th inning. I'm sure he enjoyed that at bat. Pitch is outside for a ball. Oh my goodness. I'm starting to lose it, folks. I'm really sorry, but 2011 it is 20-11, yeah. 2011 games tend to get this way. Glad I didn't do that 15-14 Tampa game at Valdosta State. I would have lost it by the 5th inning. Swung on and missed. Let's see, I think the count's 1-1. Oh, it's 2-1. Oh, it's only off by 1. 2-1 the count. Pitch on the way is fouled off. Let's see. Is that Sewell playing at first? Because that is not Eldridge. That could be McGowan. Is that 5-5? He could have moved from third to first. We'll try and pick that up here. So there have been some changes. The home plate umpire hasn't really helped us tonight. The pitch. There's a high pop-up. Oh, Dave Kingman, you're getting too much promotion tonight. This one is actually fouled off out of play. Okay, McGowan has moved from third to first. There's the 5-5 guy. Let's see, is that Kimball playing third? I think it is. That is Hayden Kimball playing at third. I'm assuming Blackstone's still at second. And can I assume that Garrett is still at short? And I think Hansen still is catching. I'll double-check that here in a minute. Again, in a 2011 game, you lose track of a few things. The pitch misses. You know what? I think that's Andrew Bork catching, 14. Andrew Bork, who is quite the personality. I've met him a few times. Man, he is full of life. The pitch is just a bit outside, and it's ball 4. So the inning continues. I'll tell you what. I've had a few interactions with Andrew Bork. If there's anybody who would perform the hot foot on the team, it would be him. You know, Bert Blyleven used to do that when he played for the Twins in the 70s. He'd get the old hot foot going. He'd sneak a hot foot on somebody, and they'd burn their foot a little bit. I can see Bork being a little bit of a practical joker. So, again, we're in the 9th inning. It is 20-11. Tampa leading by 9. The pitch missed for a ball. This is Luis Rodriguez, who is batting out of Guarenas, Venezuela. Boy, they know how to play baseball in Venezuela. Pitch in for a called strike. You know, it's not the greatest government in the world, but, boy, the baseball over there is great. Also in the Dominican Republic. All right, Dunham, first and second, trying to get out of this jam. And the pitch in for a called strike. No action in the Panther bullpen. One man standing up, two people sitting down. So Dunham with the pitch. It's in the dirt. Oh, good block there by Mr. Bork. He's alive and well tonight. And it's 1-2. Well, again, I'm going to take a guess. I'm imagining Dylan Cleveland's going to pitch one of the games tomorrow. We're not sure. I don't think we're sure who the other one is. It could be Vassallo. Oh, I think it hit him. Another hit batter. Jeez. Boy, I hate when that continues to happen. The bases are loaded. Oh, wow. Let's see who's coming up for Tampa, whether it's a pinch hitter or a regular pitcher. Number 9 is going back. So Nunez is not batting. This is number 6. Parker Schlichty. Oh, you love that name, Schlichty. Fort Lauderdale, St. Thomas Aquinas, where they play great football and boys soccer, amongst other sports. Parker Schlichty. Pitch in for a called strike. Well, I tell you, he could have been a character in Hogan's Heroes. Remember Schultz? I see nothing, I know nothing. Schlichty could have been in that cast. Oh, did he swing? No, it doesn't matter. It's a called strike. It's 0-2. So Parker Schlichty is at the plate. And Parker Schlichty is 0 for 3 on the year. So he's looking to bat 250 here if he can get a hit. The pitch. There's a pop-up. Can Bork get to it? Oh, it's out of play. Good job by Andrew throwing that mask away and hustling after the ball, but it was above the net. Bork with a little embrace of the umpire. Kevin Flay saying, "Hey, Kevin, how's it going? You having fun here? Don't you love being the home plate umpire when it's 20-11 and you're out here for like 3 hours and 32 minutes? Well, it is a nice evening. It's cooled off a bit. Pitch for a ball. Well, I'll tell you, we have had some hot days lately. I mean, we're really happy this was not a 12 noon game today. But we do have a 2 o'clock game tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be a nice day and a little breezy. So 2 9-inning games. Can't wait. Pitch outside. Oh, it's off the glove of Bork. And the runner's going to score. And the runners move up. So 21-11. Tampa up by 10. There's a ball up the middle, base hit. That's going to score 2 more runs. Well, actually, Joe Urso, being the sportsman he is going to hold the runner up, so that's just a run-scoring single. So it's now 22-11. I think that shows the class of Joe Urso. I mean, no need to score the run. You know, I don't know if Florida Tech has a 12-run inning in them in the bottom of the 9th, and Urso realizes that. All right, Jamarcus Lyons will hit. And the pitch is inside for a ball. Let's see, Lyons has a 2-run homer that was way back in the 4th inning, a single and a walk, and also has reached on an error. So he's done some damage tonight. Pitch outside for a ball. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. So Tampa's got 22 runs, but evidently only 15 hits. Florida Tech has 11 runs. They have 19 hits. Pitch is inside for a ball. Well, again, I believe it was 2007, that 26-6 St. Leo win over Florida Tech when I was set up on the first base side, and that was actually a doubleheader. We had another one after that game. Pitch in for a called strike. I've looked that up before, 26-6. This one is not quite as bad, but still not a memorable night. There's a high fly to center field. Schneider has plenty of time to get there. And he makes the catch, and the inning is over. So tack on a couple more runs for the Spartans. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. It is 22-11 in favor of Tampa. All right, let's go back to the baseball quotes. Really nothing to say except we'll be out here at 2 o'clock tomorrow for a doubleheader. You know, Tom Herrera, he sent me a nice book, which when you're in a windy environment, the book really helps. So I'm just flipping the pages here. Here's a quote. Today I told my little girl I'm going to the ballpark, and she asked, "What for?" The Dodgers' Dave Anderson, 1987, commenting on his lack of playing time. "You're going to the ballpark, Dad? Well, what for? You never play." Well, here's a quote from one of the all-time greats, and his life was cut way too short. "My bad shoulder feels good, and my good shoulder feels bad." We lost this guy way too soon, the great Roberto Clemente, who died in a plane crash. You know, he was from Puerto Rico, and he was going to Nicaragua on New Year's Eve as we were flipping the calendar to 1972. And the plane was not in very good shape, but Roberto wanted to go, and he went, and the plane crashed, and Roberto Clemente passed away. It's hard to believe he has been gone for about 53 years, give or take 6 months. All right, one more. The old professor, Casey Stengel, commenting about Ron Swoboda on the 65 Mets. The old professor said, "He's a little weak on balls in the air. He leaps after them when they ain't there." The old professor, Casey Stengel, 1965. He had left the Mets managerdom by then, pitches high for a ball. And Andrew Bork, I believe this is his first plate appearance of the night. So he replaced Hanson behind the dish and getting a plate appearance, which is rare. Pitches outside for a ball. It's 2-0. Let's see. Andrew Bork is 3 for 15, batting 200. Does have one RBI in the air. Pitches on the in for a strike. Of course, Swoboda made that great catch in the 69 World Series Game 4. Incredible catch. So swung on and missed. Hopefully Stengel paid him homage for that one. That might be the greatest catch in baseball history. I mean, certainly in the conversation, Willie Mays off of Vic Wertz, 54 World Series. The pitch is swung on and missed. So Andrew Bork strikes out. So Gavin McGowan will come up. Again, Gavin started the game at third base. He has since moved to first. And he's got 2 doubles. One of them was a 2 RBI double back in the first inning. Again, Florida Tech scored 8, and they've only scored a handful since. The pitch inside for a ball 1. Well, the good news for the Panthers, they have scored in the last 3 innings, but just 1 each inning. So 8 in the first and 1 in the 6th, 7th, and 8th. There's a chopper foul. Ooh, Raul Quintero. He didn't make too many errors on the field for Florida Tech over the years, but he bobbled that one a little bit. But with bare hand, he throws it back to the pitcher. So 1-1 on Gavin McGowan. Again, I want to mention that Gavin is out of the town of Sugarloaf, PA. Not sure if he's a Pirate fan or a Philly fan. Pitches high for a ball. Well, the Phillies got off to a horrible start this year, and, of course, they lost Rhys Hoskins for the year, and they're still waiting for Bryce Harper to come back. They did beat the Yankees, though, recently. Pitches on the outside corner, in for a strike. Wow. Nice pitch there. As Michael Dummo, D''EMO, and evidently pronounced Dummo. The 2-2 pitch is a breaking ball, low and inside, and it's 3-2. Again, there's always tomorrow for dreams to come true. A new game tomorrow, and Florida Tech will have to strap it up and hopefully play a little bit better because, 4 errors. I think this is their 4th 4-error game of the year, and that's too many to give Tampa. That one is ripped down the left field line, and Gavin McGowan, one of the bright spots tonight. He is going to have his 3rd hit and his 3rd double. I'll have to ask Gavin McGowan if I could see him. Have you ever hit 3 doubles in a game? Well, not for Florida Tech, I don't think. Maybe in his high school career he had 3 doubles, but that is his 3rd double of the night. and he only had 2 doubles all season coming in, so he's got 5 for the year. And let's see, Gabe Garrett will bat. We got a pinch runner at second. I think that's Joseph Fan. Yeah, it's Joseph Fan running at second. The pitch is outside for a ball. So again, McGowan doubled, but he's been pinch run for by Fan. Fan out of Oviedo. And the pitch. There's a high pop-up right side. First baseman under it. Makes the catch. And 1 away. Luis Rodriguez is now playing first. As Drew Earhart, I believe, is out of the game. So, 2 outs in the inning. Again, Bork struck out. McGowan doubled. Pinch running for him, Fan. And that was a pop-up to first base by Garrett. And here's Jason Blackstone, and he gets hit by the pitch. That's the last thing that Domo wants to do. I mean, you're up by 11. Why do you want to hit a batter? But sometimes it happens. Let's see, that is the first time that Florida Tech has been hit by a pitch tonight. Again, Panthers have hit about 4 or 5 Spartans. And here's Hayden Kimball. He is in the spot formerly occupied by Eldridge. Let's see, Eldridge had a pretty good night. He had 2 singles, went 2 for 5, so this is the first at bat for Kimball. And Kimball hits it to short, fielded, throw to second in time, and the ball game is over. So we get this in about 3 hours and 42 minutes, and the Tampa Spartans, they continue to roll along on what is another fantastic season as they improve to 25-7 and 14-2 in the Sunshine State Conference with a resounding 22-11 win over Florida Tech. Got to write down the totals real quick, recap it. So, final totals, 22 runs, 15 hits for Tampa, along with 2 errors. And for Florida Tech, 11 runs, 20 hits, and they committed 4 errors. We're going to do the fast break wrap on this one. I do not want to do a 1-hour post-game show on this one. There'll be better days for that. Let's just sum it up that Tampa jumped out to a 3-0 lead in the first. Florida Tech came back with 8 in the first, and Florida Tech did lead in this game way back when, 8-3. But after that, it was all Tampa, 2 in the second, 3 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 5 in the sixth, 5 in the seventh, 2 in the eighth, none in the ninth. So they scored in 6 of the 9 innings tonight, and they scored multiple runs, at least 2 in 6 of those 9 innings. So, again, Tampa wins the game by the score of 22-11. Let me point out a couple of Panther highlights. Again, Gavin McGowan, he went 3 for 5 with 3 doubles. And Cole Patrick had a 3-run homer in the first inning, and Brett Kelly had a solo homer in the 8th inning. So Florida Tech, they fall to 20-13. They fall to 9-7 in the conference. Well, I'm J.C. Miles. Thank you very much. I want to thank Sean Hout, my executive producer tonight. The lovely Christina Hardman doing a great job in her debut doing baseball stuff. I'm J.C. Miles. Thanks for tuning in. And you know what? We're going to do it again tomorrow. We love being out here. And we'll have a doubleheader tomorrow once again in about 16 hours at about 2 o'clock. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you tomorrow at about 2. Have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night.